know. Hello there.
Each eggplant, each eggplant, each eggplant, each eggplant, eggplant, eggplant. That's a good beat. Each eggplant, each eggplant, each eggplant, each eggplant, eggplant, eggplant. Good beat.
Curse you, Callus!
Oh, it's me first today. Oh, me and Slash on a date? Me and Slash are on a date! I'm so happy. And Callus and Kenobi are on a date? Aw, look at us. Look at all of us on a date.
Hello. Thank you for the resub, Greedy Waffle, 79 months. Appreciate that. Don't have to do that. I appreciate it. Also, congrats on being first. We're gonna get going pretty soon here. Should be a pretty. I mean, it's probably gonna be a pretty long episode. I got a lot to talk about. Sit back, relax. Don't forget, you can always join the show. I'll be live soon. The show's starting soon. Howdy, folks. Hope you're all doing fantastic today. We are here and we are live. We're back with another episode or another showing of the Ferret64 show. Hope we're all doing fantastic today. A lot has happened over the last 2 weeks, and I've tried to curate as much of the important stuff as I could to go over. But just to give you a little taste at the top of the show here, we got some pretty luscious topics today, including but not limited to Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. I got plenty of things to say about that. It's not a first impressions. It is a I'm like ripping, tearing through the game kind of impressions. First impressions of Splatoon Raiders, though, Denshattack and Tears of Metal coming as well, along with some news like the Duskbloods and Modern Warfare 4 beta information. God of War show lost one of its actors. Marathon, yep, more marathon news, as you may have guessed. Black Ops, the ports are selling like crazy, and it's really concerning. Stage Tour, the successor to Rock Band and Guitar Hero, got its part of its setlist released, which is pretty cool. We got some Dying Light 2 news. We got Katamari DLC. We got a new DC fighting game. We got Hot Wheels Infinite Rush, the game of the year, future game of the year. Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble information. NBA 2K27. Everyone's really excited about those cover athletes, as I know. We got Xbox backwards compatibility news and new Game Pass tier, along with some PlayStation Plus information. So, whew, that's a lot. That's a lot, right? Should be a pretty lengthy episode if you ask me. But first, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that follow button. Watch the episodes on Spotify if you don't catch the show live on. Usually, I've been trying to go live on Thursdays. Things haven't been working out that way because, it's life. But trying to do these at least once a week to keep you all in the know of what's going on in the video game landscape, right? But yeah, I've just been a little bit busy. That's why I've been off for like 2 weeks now. Just been a bit busy, just kind of doing my thing. But should be back to a slightly regular show schedule now. I should be able to do an episode on Wednesday next week, but we'll see. as usual, keep your peepers on the Discord. That is where I am at. I do not use Twitter anymore. Twitter can suck my ass. I don't really use Blue Sky for no reason really. I'm on Threads a lot and I'm on Instagram a lot. Yeah, I don't use like Twitter and stuff. It's all Discord now. So if you want any information or you want to keep up with the show, it's all on Discord. Plus, you can join the show if you join the Discord. There's channels for joining for a topic. There's channels for suggesting topics. There's such a channel for suggesting questions for the show. And there's also, of course, Jeopardy suggestions as well, which we haven't done in a while. And we're still not doing today. What are you going to do? All right, we're going to go ahead and start this episode off with technically this is not first impressions of Black Flag Resynced, but this is the closest button I have because this is not a review. Haven't finished the game yet. Not a review. This is my impressions of Black Flag, but it's going to show first impressions. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I mean, unless I made a new button, which I might do. I don't know. How often does that happen, though? You know, it's like, how often do I need the other button? Not usually. But I guess you never know. Okay, so Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Yes, they dropped the 4 from the number, which is, you know, or they dropped 4 from the title, which is kind of weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense because technically it's not the 4th game anymore. And it was never actually technically the 4th game to begin with because we had Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, and then 4. So technically Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the 6th mainline game. I do believe that there was also a mobile game mixed in there somewhere at the same time. So it could have even been like the 7th or 8th game in the series. So they decided to drop the 4 from the game title, which is like, you know, it's fine. But then they decided to put on this god awful Resynced monkier, which I honestly don't like the naming convention. Resynced, like it's just a dumb title. I've complained about this on stream. It's just like dumb. It's just a dumb naming convention. I would rather it just be Black Flag Remake or just something else. I feel like every company tries to do this though, where they're like, oh, it's Gears of War Reloaded, it's Halo Campaign Evolved. Like, okay, you're being cute, but it's kind of annoying. And the same goes here for Black Flag Resync. Now, there's supposed to be an Assassin's Creed 1 resync coming out eventually. People are also asking for Assassin's Creed Rogue to get a resync treatment, which I think it really does deserve it. Honestly, they should have done like Black Flag and Rogue like jammed together, like two in one package. They did Black Flag for a reason. That's because it is still like the highest rated Assassin's Creed game or something like that. Most people's favorite in the series. Yeah, you know, the naming convention just kind of sucks with Black Flag. It's stupid. I mean, I would have rather had something like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, as I said, Remake. I think Remake would be the best one. I'm sure there probably could have been some sort of pirate lingo they could have used for it as well. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything, but you know, even like Black Flag Reloaded, and you have like a cannon on the front. I don't know, something like that. Can't wait for Elden Ring re-ringed. Yes, actually, I mean, you could say that the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is kind of like a re-ringed. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they added being able to use the horse in the final battle. That's kind of re-ringed, if you ask me. But so how is Black Flag? Let me start. Let me take you back. Okay, my games are a little bit too far away. I have a stack of games back there for something later. Let me take it back all the way to 2014. That is when Assassin's Creed Black Flag originally came out. And right away, the game was a breath of fresh air, not only in the Assassin's Creed genre, but also in just gaming as a whole. It was the first ever pirate game to just really let you be a pirate, right? Yes, there were other games like the Pirates of the Caribbean games, whatever, Lego Pirates, whatever, you know, Sid Meier's Pirates, good game, just like not what I think a lot of people were like, yes, I really just want to be the pirate, right? I want to be the guy. I want to be the captain. I want to be the Hook, you know? I don't want to be Peter Pan anymore. I want to be the Hook. I want to do that. And Assassin's Creed Black Flag is like literally, I mean, I feel like even now, even with more games that have come out in like the pirate genre, we'll call it, I really feel like Black Flag is still the only pirate game that just gets it, right? Where you're swashbuckling, you're still doing Assassin's Creed stuff, which honestly is the worst part of the game. But you know, you're battling with the pirate ships, you're taking booty, you're attacking plantations and castles, and you're taking down legendary ships, and you're whaling and hunting in the ocean and all these different things, and it just really all comes together, especially with the world you explore being the Caribbean, with the shanties that the pirates sing, the soundtrack itself being like the mix of the Assassin's Creed soundtrack mixed in with like these pirate elements, these musical instruments from the time. And then on top of that, you add in like Edward Kenway is a great character, Ed Wally, great character. Like you interact with the famous characters like James Kidd and Edward and Ed Thatch, Ed Thatch, or Teach as some people call him, Blackbeard. You interact with these famous pirates, and it's just like it all just comes together so magically. And like I said, honestly, the worst part of the game is when you do the assassin's missions where you're just like doing regular Assassin's Creed stuff, like tracking down the Templar and assassinating him, or doing the training montage of like learning all the different kill types, or there's several missions where you just follow someone and you talk to them, or you're doing like the part where you get the blow dart and you're putting people to sleep, and James Kidd is like, this is how you do this kind of way, and it's like, I get it. You need to have this stuff in the game in order to make it still an Assassin's Creed game. But at the same time, when you do those Assassin's Creed things, it just really takes away from the rest of the vibe of the game, which is just swashbuckling and whatnot. And the funny thing about the game, too, is like you're not even really playing as a pirate, because Edward does have a wife waiting for him back at home. So you're not really getting into the debauchery that you probably would see in a game that's not tied to something like that. But of course, they had to make the character a bit more stoic, a bit more, I want to say relatable, but it's not the word I'm looking for. But they wanted to make the character have a moral compass in a way. And of course, being married is a way to show that he has a moral compass and he's not going to sleep with any other women because he has that moral compass. It kind of just starts kind of like with that. And of course, in the real world, being married really doesn't mean anything to a moral compass in a lot of ways. But in the video game world and in this world that they've made, like, I guess having Edward be so forward about having a wife and making sure that people know, like, hey, I'm not going to do anything because I have a wife waiting for me back home. It does lean him more towards the Assassin's Guild. The one thing that was really cool about this game back in the day was the fact that, like, from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way to Black Flag, you're always an assassin, a part of the Assassin's Creed Guild. But for the first time ever in Black Flag, you're not a part of the Assassins. You are kind of like hedging between the two, right? You help the Templars at the start, you help the Assassins later on, and obviously you lean more towards the Assassin's Creed, but Adwali is actually the one who joins the Creed while you stay kind of like, hey, I want to just make money and fuck bitches. Well, Edward doesn't want to fuck bitches, but you know what I mean. Like, he just wants to make money and get his riches and go home, right? So that's the thing about Black Flag that sets it apart from the rest of the Assassin's Creed series, and it's the fact that you don't really play as a true assassin in this one for the first time ever. And of course, they went even further into that with Rogue being like an assassin who turned into a Templar, so they kind of flipped the script there. And with Rogue, I really like how they have new things. Like, I think the North Atlantic is kind of an underrated area to explore via ship combat wise. I mean, not only do you have some new things there, but you have the icebergs you can shoot to create waves and take out smaller ships. You have the new flame oil slick thing that you can leave behind your ship. The new type of puckle guns. It's like a machine gun type thing. Like the ship has a lot of different things going on with it, and it makes it a lot more. It makes it fun to revisit that style. And then also there's the reverse boarding. So if you get taken on by an enemy and they take you out, you have a chance to get back at them by stopping their boarding and push them back and then board their ship, which is really cool. And these are things that I feel like the reverse boarding in general should have been brought into Black Flag. I feel like that would have really fleshed out the entire experience, because that really was what Black Flag in terms of ship combat is missing. It's missing the fact that back in the day, you could get boarded yourself. And of course, they don't really do that in this game. It's more so you attack them and you're only attacking them. So it would have been really cool for them to bring some of those elements from Rogue into this game, just to kind of really completely flesh out the whole ship combat of the game in general. So that's that. In general, I will say if you really want to know, the ship combat feels 90% the same. Like, there's really not much different here. I think there are slight differences in how the puckle guns work. There's slight differences in how the ship controls. There is a difference in the fact that you can change your shots on the cannons. That's nice. But for the most part, you got your regular shot, your heavy shot, your chain shot, your mortars, and your fire barrels you throw behind the ship, and you shoot them with the puckle gun in order to blow up enemy ships, or the ships will run into it, right? And of course, once you get a ship down enough, you board the ship, and you can use it to either send it to your fleet, repair your ship, or lower your wanted level. Nothing different there. Nothing different at all. They even kept in the fact that you can swim onto an enemy ship, attack it yourself, and then jump off. But instead of being able to still attack the ship with your ship afterwards and board it and get the treasure, it just automatically blows up, which is a little bit lame in my opinion. I feel like they definitely kind of dropped the ball with that. I feel like there should have been more options, because really at the end of the day, this is one of those expansive open worlds that just kind of lets you take its sandbox and do what you want to do with it. And for in a lot of ways, it's there. It's a great sandbox, but there are still some of these limitations that they throw onto the player that just doesn't really make sense in my opinion. Like not being able to take over an enemy vessel on your own. You've done it already. You killed all the enemies, but forcing you to then jump off the ship and just have it blow up behind you is a bit annoying. And also, if you only leave like one enemy on the ship and you get off the ship and go onto your ship, the enemies on the ship that you just attacked will restock. So it's a little bit like, okay, I mean, so I'm able to go on to the enemy ship. I'm able to attack the enemy ship. I'm able to kill everyone on the ship and whatnot, get the objectives done. But as soon as I jump off, it blows up, or as soon as I jump off, the enemies respawn. Kind of annoying, especially in a game like this. Like I said, that allows you to have such a big sandbox for your open world. It doesn't really make sense in a lot of ways. Also, congratulate or happy 6-year mod anniversary, General Kenobi. Appreciate you. Other things about the ship combat. Like I said, it mostly feels the same. There's really not much different in the game in terms of how the ship control. Like, it does feel a little bit different here and there. They've added more sea shanties to find, so that's cool. All the hunting stuff is the same. A lot of the objectives in the open world are the same. You still have the fleets and stuff to take out. You still have Edward's, Kenway's fleet to command. You still have fortresses to take down and plantations to go to, and a lot of different areas to take over. The other thing that is a little bit of an irk in the game is the fact that they have taken out your mini map. So it's now just a compass at the top. And the one thing about the original Black Flag, and with this Black Flag as well, is the fact that there's a lot of objectives to do on these little islands that you go to. And being able to see where things are on the map, on your mini map, was really nice, as opposed to the compass, which only shows you things that are in your immediate area, maybe about 100 meters away or so. So instead of being able to just look at my mini map and say, oh, there's a chest over there, because you do the synchronization thing, you do your swan dive, and on the minimap it would show everything that was revealed. Well, unfortunately, with you either have to be close enough for the compass to pick it up, close enough for your sense ability to pick it up, or you need to open up the map now and just pin it on your map and then go to it. So personally, even though it's more immersive to have a compass, of course, it's more immersive to have just that very a basic HUD. It's also a little bit of a detriment because now instead of being able to just see the map at all times, I have to open up a menu in order to that map. And I would say the same thing. They kind of messed up how the treasure maps work in the game too. When you get to an island that has a treasure map associated with it, Edward will say something like, "Oh, I bet that treasure's buried over there." And he does say that a lot, so it makes you think like, "Oh, am I in the right spot?" Like there was one point where I was on the one of the first technically the island that Edward washes up after the opening scene of the game. Edward washes up. That island has a treasure chest on it. The next time you come around to it, right? So I was on the island and I was going through it, and the whole time Edward's like, I think that treasure chest was back there. And I'm like, really? And I pulled up the map, and it's like, no, it's literally all the way on the other side of the area. I don't know why he's saying that, but he kept saying it over and over and over again. So I kept like searching around, like, am I like stupid or something? No, I'm not stupid. I was right the whole time, and Edward was just bullshitting me the whole time. So they need to pull that back a little bit. But the other thing that annoys me about the treasure maps is instead of just pressing triangle when you're on an island that has treasure on it, and pulling up the image of the map itself that you're looking at, now you have to go through like several menus in order to get to your treasure maps, and you have to close it and walk around on the island, open it back up if you need to, and it's just really annoying. It's a bit tedious, and I don't know why they didn't just put it for like a quick button or something like that. It just doesn't really make any sense to me that I have to open up the menu, I have to scroll to the codex, I have to select treasure maps, I have to select the treasure map I want, I have to wait for the codex to load again, and then it pulls up the. All right, are we back? We're back. All right. Yeah, I disconnected for some reason. Don't know why. OBS struggling a little bit. I think we're back though. We're back though. So you might be saying like, "Hey, Yummy, why don't you just memorize where the spot on the map is for the treasure chest?" And to that I say, "Fuck you." I don't like my memory is not like I'm not gonna commit where something is on the map like to memory. Like I look at like what I like to do in any game is I like to finesse myself. I look at the map, I go to a specific spot, I look at the map again, I go to another spot, and then eventually I find it by looking at the map one more time. And I can't do that because now I have to go through like 5 different menus. So it's just annoying. It's just a bit annoying. And that's like really like the big gripe about the treasure hunting in my opinion, because it's still fun to find the messages in the bottle or the treasure map on the old cadaver, right? And go and find those treasures. While at the same time, they've added in this tedium to the game that I don't feel like needs to be there. Also, another thing that I will say that I have a bit of criticism for is the fact that they have added in a bit of a battle pass into the game. The new Abstergo point system. And even though you don't actually buy these points, you find them in the game on the map when you're running around. It is still very much annoying that I have this like battle pass that I'm earning towards, and I'm finding these stupid Abstergo points, and the Abstergo points aren't even like there's like 200 Abstergo points in each little cluster that you collect, and it's not even enough. Like I have like so far going through the game, I haven't even collected enough Abstergo points to get the second reward in this battle pass, and it's like, dude, there's like one Abstergo cluster on each island. Like what do you want me to fucking do here? Like go to each island, go to the hardest sections of the game and go to each island and collect them and then collect my reward. Like it's just a bit stupid. And the other weird thing too is like these Abstergo points also count towards the Assassin's Creed Shadows one that they've added in. I don't know if it's been there since the beginning or not. I don't remember, but there was also that as well. You can get the battle pass for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and you don't have to buy said battle pass. It is just a part of the like hub of the game. But yeah, it's just a bit like an annoyance where it's like, okay, I have these new collectibles that are just kind of like stupid. They're just like I don't even care. Like I don't even know. Also, I don't even know. Maybe they're gonna refresh in the future. Maybe, you know, when the next battle pass comes out, we'll have to go back to each island and go back to each place and get the Abstergo points again. I don't know. I hope not. It's like collecting feathers in Assassin's Creed 2. It's just like, it's just really mind numbing. It's just like, okay, here we go, collecting these feathers. Here we go, collecting these Abstergo points that I'll probably never really fucking use because I'll forget to use them. Even though the game loves to pull up that little thing on the side that's like, hey, press the touchpad if you want to check out your Abstergo points. I just ignore it. Or I accidentally press the touchpad trying to get to the map. And it's like, no, you wanted the Abstergo points, right? It's like, no, I don't want the Abstergo points. I don't fucking care about that shit. And I guess that's another criticism for the game is that the game does need to be hooked to the internet almost at all times to play. I think it's loadable if you don't have an internet connection, but you like lose that connectivity to the rest of like the Assassin's Creed hub. Also, in order to play the game from disc, you have to download the game, so it's not really a physical release at the end of the day. It's more of a physical release than Grand Theft Auto 6 is, 6 is going to be. Yeah, it's just a little bit annoying. You got to download the game, even though they give you a disc, and I'm pretty sure the game would probably mostly fit on that disc, but whatever. Let's talk about the other part of this game, the whole other part of this game that I haven't talked about, which is the on-foot combat and story and blah, blah, blah. So yes, as I talked with Maz last time, they changed the combat. They changed some of the level aspects. They've added more cutscenes to the game to include more context between Edward and his wife, et cetera, et cetera. They've also added new characters to the game that you can find and do quests for. Like you can get new members of your ship's crew, and they're like important. So they give you like special abilities. Like the first person that I found gave me the ability to do a perfect block, essentially, and it would reduce the amount of damage coming to my crew if I press the brace button at the right time. Not block, but brace button at the right time when you're on the ship. There's more to find. I haven't found them yet. I've been running around doing Templar quests, which is really fucking annoying. And also, like, the Assassin's contracts are also really annoying, too. They're just like, hey, go here and kill the guy and then go, then leave. And it's like, holy shit. Like, we could have probably taken this stuff out of the game, right? But they didn't. And a lot of people probably would have been angry if they took that stuff out of the game. Me, personally, I would just been like, yeah, it's just fucking, like, Assassin's Creed shit. Once again, I love Black Flag, okay? I love this game. I love the original game. I love this game a lot. But there are annoyances with this game that I do wish that they would have taken out of the remake. That's all I'm saying. And I still stand behind the fact that I gave Assassin's Creed Black Flag the game of the year back when it came out. I still stand behind that because it is an excellent game with a lot going on. And it's very unique in terms of what it does. But Black Flag Resynced, when you're doing a remake of a game, you can take out the stuff that people don't like. And they took out the future stuff where you're first person doing puzzles on the computers. Like they took all that stuff out. And even though, yeah, it does kind of hurt that narrative of like Black Bart being the prophet or whatever, and like coming back in the future to try and kill you, like it does remove that element, and I haven't gotten that far in the game yet to see how they change that up. But, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, the future stuff just really kind of stunk in the game. It was first person. It was slow. You were going around to all these computers doing this really lame puzzle. And yeah, it's actually a good thing that they took out the entirety, maybe not the entirety, but all of the futuristic stuff. Would I still have like some sort of like story in there for the future, like maybe just like a cutscene or something like that? Sure. I mean, they do the same thing as Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate, where instead of having like a specific character, like you are the character in the game and you are the one who is like playing it, and you're the one who is trying to break the code and break out of, break the Animus code or whatever. Like they still have that going on. You can take part in these like data breach missions and stuff like that. I haven't tried those at all because I'm not interested in that stuff, but I'm sure it's fine. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, going back to like the on foot stuff, they still have all the Assassin's Creed stuff in there, assassinations, the rope darts, the blow stick or whatever. They all have that. It still has all that stuff in there, which is good. I don't mind that stuff. The thing about the combat though, they really changed up the combat. I know a lot of people are kind of like, oh, the combat was kind of boring in Assassin's Creed, and I kind of like, I'm kind of like halfway there where it's like, yeah, I mean, it was a bit monotonous because it was really just pressing like 2 buttons over and over again, and you could literally block. I'm sorry, you could literally parry by just spamming the parry button. It's like, yeah, but also at the end of the day, like, you're playing as a rough and tough pirate. Like, I feel like you should be able to just like slaughter like 5 enemies around you in a couple of seconds. The problem is, and I was originally like okay with this, but until I actually played the game, they changed the combat to be more like the newer Assassin's Creed games, where you have perfect parrying and you have to take down a guy's stamina bar, and then you can do like a takedown on them, and you have like special moves that you can also implement as well, and your weapons have like these special abilities to them. Honestly, after playing the game for like 10 plus hours now, I really just miss the original game's combat. It was simplistic, yes, but it served a purpose. Having that flowing combat system where you parry and take down, parry and take down, parry and take down. It flowed so much better than chip 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 away or perfect parry and then take down, but then oh wait, hold on, another guy's attacking you, so now you have to parry again, and then you have to chip them away too. And there are some weapons that have like multiple takedowns with them and stuff like that, which is fine. But at the end of the day, there was a rhythm that the original game had that I feel like matched the pirate theme better, because you're on a ship and there's like 15 guys on that ship that you're taking down, and it's almost too much for the combat system to handle sometimes, because you can really only lock in on one enemy at a time. But in the original game, you could be not even facing anyone. They would go in the swing with their attack, and you would just bing slice, bing slice, bing slice, and it just really helped with the flow of everything. I think where the combat really struggles is on the boarding parts of the game, where you're boarding an enemy ship, because it's a limited space. There's a lot of enemies in one cluster, different types of enemies too. You have the regular guys, you have the captains, you have the quick guys, you have the big guys. They're all together. And in the original game, it wouldn't be too bad, because most of them you can just parry, stab, parry, stab, right? But in this game, it's not really like that. And the enemies' attacks are, it's weird. I don't know if it's maybe just me getting older, but the timing of the attacks, as opposed to when you are supposed to parry or block, just doesn't really line up, in my opinion. Like, the enemy will be doing their swing, and the glint of like the parry thing will be like midway through the swing, but it's like, no, shouldn't I like press the parry button like right before he attacks? Or it's one of those things where it doesn't make a lot of sense, and the animations aren't as noticeable when the enemies are going to do an attack. The dodging and parrying windows aren't as nice as I would like them to be in a lot of ways. Also, they took out the ability to just like change out your swords that just use the blades, the hidden blades. I felt like the hidden blades combat in the original game was really cool. Like, it really flowed, and like it makes sense, because Edward, once again, he's a pirate. He's using what he has at his disposal like a pirate would. He's just chopping away, much like how Ivor in Assassin's Creed Valhalla used the blade, or she used the blade. Much like how Connor in Assassin's Creed 3 would use the blade in unique ways. Edward would also do that. But now it just kind of feels like, okay, well, we can't just go in with the blades. Like, it's only he only uses the blades in terms of assassinations and in takedown animations. And it just kind of seems a little bit weird that we're going to take that away. Also, the fact that you can't pick up a musket in the game anymore is just very strange to me. Like, that was a big part of both Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, is the fact that, like, yeah, you can just pick up a musket, shoot a guy, and use that musket in combat. It just doesn't make any sense to take that out of the game. You have enemies with blunderbusses and muskets throughout the entire game. The fact that those muskets and stuff fall into the ground and then you can't pick them up and use them is just really mind-blowing, like mind-boggling to me. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you not allow me to pick up this gun and shoot it, or pick up the gun and use it as a weapon? Some of the most fun combat in any Assassin's Creed game is when you pick up those muskets in Black Flag and in Assassin's Creed 3 and use them to take out the enemies, because it's a unique way of fighting. Much like Connor with his hatchet is a unique way of fighting in Assassin's Creed 3. In Assassin's Creed 4, Edward having two swords is pretty unique, but also the fact that, yeah, he could use his hitting blades, he could pick up muskets and use those as well in unique ways. That really helped the game feel more like a unique experience rather than just being an Assassin's Creed game. And yeah, I know I'm talking up Assassin's Creed 3 as well. I don't love Assassin's Creed 3, but I think that it's a decent game. But yeah, Black Flag is one of those games where it's like, yeah, you know, you know, like one of the main things of the game was just like picking up the enemy's weapon and just boom, boom shakalaka. Now you can't pick up any weapons in the game at all. And it's just kind of weird. It just feels a little bit weird not to have that in the game. Um, and you know, I think that in general, like if it was just the fact that I couldn't pick up the musket, that'd be one thing. But the problem is that the combat in general isn't really that much fun. I've decided to lower the difficulty down to normal mode. I did have it on hard, and I was having no fun at all because like, well, the enemy would hit me twice because I don't like the combat, and then I would die. So now I have it on normal, and it's like fine. You know, it's just like I knew this was gonna happen. I knew as soon as I switched the combat over to normal, the game was gonna be too easy, and I was just gonna blaze through things, and that's kind of what's happening even with boss fights now. So there's no happy medium there for me, which is really annoying because I think that the combat probably should have just been left alone. If you're going to use the Assassin's Creed, the original Black Flag engine for the parkour, for animations, for ship combat and stuff like that, why not just keep the engine that has the muskets? Why not keep the engine that has the dual blade attacks? Why not, like all this stuff? Like if you're going to take stuff like the parkour feels very, very much like of the time, right? The parkour feels like it came straight from 2014 or 2013. And to me personally, it just feels like if you're going to remake a game and you're not going to improve the parkour system in the game, what's the fucking point? Because half of the thing about an Assassin's Creed game that makes it so cool is the fact that, yeah, you're running across buildings and whatnot. At this point, I have avoided as parkour as much as I can, other than climbing up buildings to get the synchronization points and chasing down shanties. I literally try and do the least amount of parkour ever. It's why I don't go up the ships and cut their flags anymore. You don't have to in this game. You just have to reduce their morale by killing them. But you know, in the original game, you would have to go and cut the flag down no matter what. You could take out the enemies on the ship. You would have to go up and cut that flag. It feels so weird that like I don't have to cut down the flag now, even though it's an objective. I don't have to do it. I can just kill enemies until their morale's gone. I don't even need to climb up the mast and stuff like that. Some of the coolest parts of the original Black Flag is climbing up the netting and climbing up the ropes and stuff like that, and actually taking out the flag or taking out the musket men up there. Like there's so many different things that the original game did that were cool, and it just kind of like mixed in with like the different aspects of the objective you were trying to do, like taking on a ship. So it's just weird to me that like, okay, instead of having to cut the flag down and then take out the enemies or vice versa, I can just skip cutting the flag and just go straight for the enemies. Same thing with like if you're taking out a frigate, you actually don't have to do the objectives where it's like destroy the powder kegs or kill the captain. Like you could literally just take out the enemies. You can take out the basic enemies, reduce the morale to 0, and then you win. And it's like, I don't know, it's missing something there. It's missing a little bit of that factor of like, yes, I would like to have a little bit of challenge here, and they just don't do that for you. So, yeah, I know I have a lot of criticisms about this, and I think it's okay for me to be a bit more critical of something like this because of the fact that the original game, I mean, wasn't perfect. I would give it a 9 out of 10 on a good day, right? But still, you have like this template of a very good game, and you've just done these weird things that make me scratch my head a bit. Why'd you change the combat so much? Why can't I use my hidden blades? Why can't I use muskets? You know, like there's all these different little things that kind of build on top of itself. And I know it's for like a more modern audience, right? It lines up with the modern Assassin's Creed titles. Even Mirage has the same combat system. But for me personally, it's like when you're going to remaster or remake a game like this from that era, I would really appreciate having that same combat system, having everything kind of pull over and be the same. If the parkour was still as janky as it was in 2014 and also the rest of the game was the same, I'd be fine with it. But because they changed the combat, some of the ship stuff, etc., and they really kept the parkour kind of feeling the same, like just a little bit weird, like Edward won't go where you want him to go sometimes. I don't know. I'm a little bit more hypercritical of that. That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to be stuck on this topic for too long because technically, Black Flag Resynced is old news now. I would say, yes, it is still a great game. Yes, the new graphics, the new soundtrack, the new shanties, the new physics for like the ocean and stuff like that. Like, It's all fantastic. The day and night cycle, the storm cycles, really cool. Everything looks great and it plays pretty well in general, right? But if you're like me and you kind of want more of that 2014 experience, I have a game over here for you called Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. That's probably going to be the one that you're going to want to play, and that's probably the one that I would want to replay in the future, right? But for what it is still a good remake. It it does what it sets out to do. It remakes the original game and it adds more modernization into the game, right? It does what it sets out to do. And I commend them for that. I don't think that it's worth a full price tag. I mean, technically, yeah, it is a 2026 game, but it technically is still stuck in 2014. So I would wait for a sale on this one, which I know I didn't technically wait for a sale, but I had $30 off at Best Buy, and I said I do want to play this. And I mean, out of all the games that came out these past 2 weeks, Black Flag is the game I've been playing the most of. So it makes sense for me, a super fan of pirates and stuff, to buy this day one. But yeah, I would heavily recommend waiting for that Ubisoft sale, because you know what's going to happen. They're probably going to put it on sale for $30 by Black Friday. So if you can, I would just hold out on it. I think it is definitely worth playing if you really love Assassin's Creed or you really love Black Flag or whatnot. I think it is worth playing, and it's up to you to decide if you want to buy the game day one or not. For me personally, it felt like a good deal with the money that I took off of it. So I would say wait for a sale on this one. It's essentially the same game, but worse, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is technically a worse version of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag in terms of combat and whatnot. But it is also, I mean, it has better graphics for sure. It has a better soundtrack, like the soundtrack's redone. It has more shanties. Of course, we always want more shanties. And I think the new level design, like they've swapped up some levels, they changed some stuff around. I feel like the new level designs and new cutscenes are great. But the original game has, in my opinion, a better open world navigation with the mini-map, but an easier way to find your treasures. I feel like the future stuff is not fun, but at least the story ties in a bit, so it does loop around a bit. I don't miss the future stuff, but it is still like a bit of like a hash, a check there where it's like, yeah, I mean, but they took it out of the game still. I feel like the combat in general on foot combat is better and more fleshed out in the original game than it is in Resynced. And I think that's the biggest sticking point for me personally, is the fact that the combat just feels so much worse, in my opinion. It really does. It loses its flow, its versatility, and its customization in a lot of ways. I totally forgot. I totally forgot. One of the best things about the remake, though, is the fact that the underwater world is so lively. You can go underwater anywhere you want now. You can swim to the depths of the ocean. Well, I guess not the ocean, but like around islands. You can swim around, find stuff around the islands. You still need the diving bell to do the more deep stuff, right? But for the most part, if you sail to like an atoll or something like that, and you park your ship there, you can technically swim down until you lose the reef, right? And it's just darkness underneath you. So that's really cool too. And yeah, I think in general, you could not swim too far away from your ship in the original Assassin's Creed. In this one, I feel like you can just kind of swim anywhere you want. And maybe the ship will follow you, maybe it won't. I haven't tested this out because I don't care. But it is kind of cool that you can just, is it that's a commercial for Black Flag on right behind. How'd they know? But anyway, I do like, personally, the original game flows a little bit better for the combat and stuff like that. I think that it like in general, I think I enjoy the original game more than Resynced. But I still think Resynced is great. I think that it does deserve to be praised, and I think it does deserve to be played. But I would wait for a sale on this one. And if you can, I would just buy Assassin's Creed 4 for like $10. I feel like it's like $10 on sale on Steam and PlayStation, stuff like that. There's a PS4 version and an Xbox One version that works just fine on PS5 and Xbox Series X. So you don't even need to worry about that. And it's crazy too. The copy of Assassin's Creed 4 that I have is the PS3 version that you can upgrade to a PS4 version. That PS4 version works on PS5. So it's 3 console generations that this game is working on. And now we've got the Resynced version of this game, which does the job. I mean, it gives new people the idea of Black Flag, but it does not give it the proper execution, in my opinion. I think that there's some things in the execution that are lacking. So, yeah, in my opinion, I do feel like the original version of the game is a superior one, but I like this. I haven't stopped playing it because I like it still. I still like it. So I'm not sitting here going like, "Oh, don't play this." Like, you can play this. Like, it is good. It is still good. But when I play this game, I just feel like I want to play the original, which probably isn't a good thing for them, but it is what it is. I'm sure Jeff Cayley will give it like its flowers in the future. All right. Now, let's move on to an actual first impression with Splatoon Raiders. All right. So, what is Splatoon Raiders? This is a game that when it originally was shown off, I was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. And the more I saw of it, the more interested I was in the game. And even though I'm not super crazy about roguelite in every single game, Splatoon Raiders does it in a way that's not like super detrimental to the experience. Like, yeah, if you fail a mission, you do need to restart that level or that mission. But you don't lose everything. Ooh, excuse me. You don't lose everything, which is great. Also, it's a Splatoon game. It's a Nintendo game. It's like almost impossible to actually die in these games. Like, I was struggling a little bit with one of the later on missions. There's like these optional like things where you wake up a big pile of salmonoids or whatever, and they attack you. And I was pretty close to dying. But the nice thing is like they give you first off, if you get down to 0 health, they give you like a warning. Your health bar just starts like blinking red. And it's like, watch out. You're going to, if you get another hit again, you're going to die. So with this game, the way they heal, which I think is the same in the regular Splatoon games as well, you literally just need to dive into your ink and you like heal almost instantly. It's like a really fast heal. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not dying in this game ever. I'm sure I will eventually down the road pass away. But the main thing is like, yeah, kind of impossible to die in this game unless you're really not paying attention in a lot of ways. Which is nice for the younger audience playing the game. There are 3 different difficulties modes. I'm playing on the normal mode right now, but there's an easy mode and a hard mode, of course, which I'm sure people will get their time out of as well. But for me personally, I just wanted to, because I'm not really used to Splatoon games. Like, I played the 3rd game a bit, and I mean, the story mode for the 3rd game didn't really like latch like put me, bring me into the game, right? I mostly bought it to try and play with other people online, but that lasted for like a week and then people moved on. But I still thought the game was good. I didn't play Splatoon 1 or 2, even though I technically ordered Splatoon 2 but got Miitopia instead for whatever reason, but that's a story for another time. But Splatoon 3 wasn't bad. Like, I liked the game. The one thing I don't like about Splatoon games is the fact that they try and push gyro controls onto you. And you can turn those off in this gun, and I believe you can also turn it off in Splatoon 3. So yeah, I almost immediately when I could, you have to go through like the tutorial, but then you can turn off gyro controls. And I was like, thank God, because the gyro controls just they're like very finicky. Oh, excuse me, they're very finicky, and I don't really like them. I don't really like them in general. I don't like gyro controls in general. So when I was playing around with the gyro controls, I was like, okay, I mean, I can see where people would like this, and it makes more sense to play with gyro controls in a game that's not competitive, like the PvP mode in Splatoon 3. But at the same time, it's like, nah, I would rather just use the joystick. And you can also use the mouse if you want to as well. I mean, it's not like you can't use that. But the main hurdle to get across in Splatoon Raiders is getting past the tutorial. And once you get past the tutorial, which is a little bit lengthy in my opinion, the game does start to really open up and give you what you want out of this kind of game. This like kind of like very very light roguelite game. It's more of like a like wave defender at the end of the day, I would say. Like you go to each point and like capture the points essentially. I feel like that's kind of where the game starts to truly shine, because not only do you have a very good variety of enemies from the get-go, but the locations you go to and stuff like that, it all is a very like luscious, like island kind of paradise type thing going on. Not paradise, but like island type thing going on. And the vibe it passes the vibe check. What can I say? And the other thing too is like they almost immediately start giving you a more variety of weapons. Like you start out with a very basic splat gun, but then you get like the paint bucket or the roller or the paint brush or whatever. Right? You get all these different weapons almost right away. You start collecting these higher level weapons that are different types of weapons, and immediately the game starts to go like, yeah, I mean it's a lot more fun to use like a variety of weapons instead of just using like a splat gun. And I know Splatoon 3 and the other games had multiple weapons too, but just for this game in general, like having so much variety from the get-go does really help, because I'm constantly like just changing up my weapon and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Get out of it, dude. Holy shit. So yeah, Splatoon Raiders. It's exactly what you think it is. You go to an island and you try and get to the treasure chest, and you have to fight through waves of salmonoids to get to said treasure chest. And there's a boss at the end usually. The bosses aren't too bad at the beginning of the game. I don't expect them to get too difficult as I go on. Maybe once I get to like the final areas, I can expect the bosses to be a bit more difficult. But right now it's like, you know, you have your little buddy helping you and you have special abilities attached to your character. It's kind of hard to die in the game, like I said before. So yeah, the boss isn't going to be too difficult to take out, and you know, for the most part. But that is another cool thing about the game, and this does also help like younger players, or even if you're struggling with the game as well, is the fact that yeah, you do have like a little companion with you. You have this little like robot suit that they fix up, and they go, yeah, I'm gonna be in this robo suit, and I can help you when you collect enough salmonoid points or whatever they're called. And so yeah, you press the right joystick down, and they do like a special move. So the one guy, you get on his back and he starts like shooting paint everywhere. Or the one girl has like these eels that drop down from the ceiling and they attack enemies. And the other girl has a big shark that comes out and chomps straight ahead. So there's all these there's these 3 different characters you can use right now. I don't know if there's more later on, but you know these are the characters you can use at the beginning. They kind of join you on your quest. They do help out in combat and with platforming and stuff as well. So they have things to do in the game too, which is fine. You know, I think in general, like the game, it looks good. It plays well. It does still feel more like a Switch 1 type game, in all honesty. Like, even though it looks good, it has all the special things that a Switch 2 version has, it does. I can't shake the feeling that it does kind of feel like a bit of a Switch 1 game. And maybe it's just because I associate Splatoon with Switch 1. It's one of those things where it's like, it's definitely giving off vibes of like it's a bit more basic than I was hoping right now, and I'm sure it'll have more going on as I continue the game. But right now, it does feel more like one of those offerings that the Switch 1 had, where it's like a bit basic at the start, but then they update the game or add stuff later. And I'm not really a big fan of that way that Nintendo has done game releases in the past, like with the Nintendo Switch Sports game, and the Mario Strikers Battle League game, and Mario Tennis even. Like, you know, they incrementally add things to these games, and eventually they become a fleshed out game. Like Mario Strikers Battle League actually became like an actual fleshed out game through like 50 updates, right? But when it came out, it was just a very bare bones, like really nothing going on type game, and it really just soured the experience right away. I don't feel that way with Splatoon Raiders right now, it gives off that vibe though of like, we're gonna add more characters to join you on your quest in the future. We're gonna add more islands to explore in the future. Like it kind of gives off that vibe right now. I think the game is fairly priced if you get it for like $50. 60 is pushing it in my opinion for something like this, but the $50 price tag is not that bad, especially if you can get it on a sale when it's like $40 down the road. I feel like that would be a really great deal for this. And I don't know if they're going to do any super crazy deals for Black Friday this year, but it does feel like one of those games where it's like, yeah, it's probably gonna have a good sale eventually down the road. And I do think that in general right now, I feel like it is worth the price of admission if you're a super fan of Splatoon, or if you just like third-person games in general, like third-person shooters in general. I think you'll find a lot of enjoyment in this. If you have a kid who likes playing third-person shooters, I mean, it's going to be right up their alley. It's going to be more kid-friendly, of course. In general, I think that with the co-op offerings as well, it'll really become a well-rounded experience, and it already has some of those aspects to it, right? But I don't think it's like a fully fleshed out experience right now. And once again, this is just the first impression. So in 5 hours, maybe I'll be singing a different tune, and then they'll have added all these new things into the game. I just don't see that happening though, and that's just like my foresight. My foresight senses like tingling. It's like I don't feel like there's gonna be too much more added to this game for the base game, right? And hopefully, if they do, if the plan is to update this game incrementally in the future, hopefully it doesn't take as long as Mario Kart World decided to take to add in any new content, right? So I'll keep my eye on this one. I'm gonna keep playing it myself. I've only played about an hour or so of the game, but like I said, the big hurdle with and honestly, with most Nintendo games, the big hurdle is getting past the tutorial. Unless you're playing Star Fox Remake, the tutorial slaps in that game. But most other Nintendo games that have a tutorial, I'm looking at Hyrule Warriors. I'm looking at Kirby Air Riders. I'm looking at Metroid. I guess really. I mean, I guess not really Metroid. Metroid's another one that didn't really have too bad of a tutorial to that one. I'm looking at Pokemon Legends ZA. Fucking crazy. Also, like I feel like Donkey Kong Bonanza was one that didn't have too bad of a tutorial, anyways. So it's like a 50-50 thing where it's like half the games have a tutorial that is way too long. Like Pikmin 4 was one of them where I was like, yeah, this tutorial is just like taking way too long. I got the gist of it, dude. Animal Crossing, you might say, has a really long tutorial. Oh, fuck. I forgot about this piece of shit. Dude, this tutorial is like 5 hours long before you actually get into the real game. That is fucking crazy. I totally forgot. I literally stopped playing this game because the tutorial is so fucking long. Oh my gosh, if you've played Mario Tennis, you know what I'm talking about. The new Mario Tennis. Like literally, you start that game up and you're babies for like the first half of the game, and it's all just tutorial shit. And it's like, dude, let me play the real game, please. Fuck. Yeah, that one actually pisses me off because that was a full price game, and I think I played a grand total of like 4 hours. So fucking dumb. Anyway, Splatoon Raiders though, I'm enjoying it. I'm not a huge Splatoon guy, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's good. I believe that it's already been teased that they are making a Splatoon 4, which would be a good idea because this is literally just like the Salmonoid run mode from Splatoon 2 or 3 or whatever it was. It is pretty much literally just that mode, just kind of fleshed out a bit more. So it does seem like a smart idea to put out a multiplayer Splatoon game on the Switch 2 at this point. I would expect to see something about that next year. That's what I'm thinking. Splatoon 4 or whatever they're gonna call it. Probably gonna be like a next year thing. I can almost guarantee that they're working on that. Because Splatoon is like one of the best-selling Switch games, really, if I remember correctly. I think also on the Wii U is like one of the best-selling series on the Wii U. And it did have 2 games on the Wii U. Yeah, I'm just enjoying it in general. So if you want to check it out, I would say yeah. If you're a fan of these Splatoon games, definitely want to check this out. If you like third person shooters or whatever, horde mode type things, should probably check it out too. It's fun. It do be fun, and like I said, it looks good, plays pretty well. Just I'm not like super far through yet. Okay. Holy shit, I can't spell. We're going to move on to the next topic here. I almost pulled up the Moist Critical playthrough of the game. Both of the footages from before were from MK Fire and Ice. This footage is from a guy named Beard Bear. Let's talk about Denshattack. Hold on, let me do the stinger. You know, I love a good title card. All right, Denshattack. All right, Denshattack. What is Denshattack? It's a really cool game. A game that I don't think is going to be for everyone. I feel like it does have it does have a vibe to it that I think that people of certain gaming preferences will not enjoy. That being that it's actually kind of tough. It's a bit of a toughy little game. It starts you out very calmly with like just riding down the rails, learning how to switch rails, jump over things, etc. But very quickly, like the combo system, the track layouts and stuff like that become kind of tough. I feel like there's, I mean, unless you're like God Gamer Supreme, I feel like the first time you play a level, you're probably going to fall off the track a couple times because these tracks are so complicated. Like I said, they're so like at least the first time through, they feel a bit random, right? There's all these like fun little things going on as well. There's a lot of fun visuals and everything. Like there's a lot of distractions for you too. And at the same time, like you're trying to do tricks to get high scores, and then you're also paying attention to like, okay, do I need to jump here? Do I need to switch tracks here? Do I need to do this or that, right? Also, there's a whole like grinding aspect to the game, which adds another layer onto the game. There's a whole boost system where you're going around corners and they want you to hold down the trigger for X amount of time and then boost, right? So there's all these things to kind of pay attention to and keep in mind. And all these things build up on top of each other. I feel like it's a little bit more of a learning curve than something like Tony Hawk, which this game was being compared to. Yes, it does have Tony Hawk elements in it with doing tricks and chaining things together and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it has more layers than you expect for a Tony Hawk type game, right? It starts you off, they're like, hey, here's like how you do some like flip tricks, and then here's how you boost around corners and whatnot. But then they're like, okay, and here's how you do track changing midair. Here's how you do grinding. Here's how you, et cetera, et cetera. So there's all these different things that just start to come together. I mean, it all comes together pretty well, in my opinion. But it is a very steep learning curve. And if you're not ready for that learning curve, it's not one of those games that's going to ease you into it. I mean, it's literally like 3 levels in, and you're already starting to learn more complicated things in the game, right? Unlike something like Tony Hawk, where you kind of have your entire palette laid out for you, but you can kind of learn the game as you go, and you don't really have to get good at the game until you get like 5 levels in when they do like the little skate tournaments, right? Or something like Ollie Ollie World, one of my favorite games. I love that game. That game does ease you into it. They slowly teach you like, here's grinding, here's how to go up and down stairs, here's how to do different tricks, right? It's very gradual getting into these things. But Denshattack's like, hey, we want you to learn this stuff and we want you to master it like right away. Because the first boss fight, once you get to that fucking first boss fight, it's gonna really test your skills, and you're gonna have to really pay attention to what the fuck is happening. And it's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. Like the entire game, the concept of the game is insane. Like being the conductor of a train and doing flip tricks and shit like that. But like the game itself, the visual style, the level design, et cetera, it all is just absolutely nuts. It is absolutely nuts. And like I said, I'm at the first boss, and this shit is tough. I don't know if anyone else is having this much trouble, but holy shit, like it is one of those games where it's like if you don't know the level, you're just gonna just like fumble it all the way until the end. And of course, even if you do know the level, you'll probably fumble it a little bit. I feel like it's one of these games where it's just gonna the entrance to this game is going to be a bit steep. It's a real steep learning curve here. I know I keep using that word, but there's no better way to describe this than steep learning curve. There's a few games that I've played in the past that are kind of the same way, where it's like, okay, once you start the game up, it just goes to 100 really quickly. Like not right away, but really quickly. And this is one of those games where I feel like, yeah, they literally like put the gas pedal to the floor, and they're like, okay, you have one tutorial level, and then you have a few other things mixed in here that we teach you. But it's gonna be like boom, boom, boom. You're gonna learn this shit really fast. So if you're not ready for something like that, and you go into it as more of a vanilla player or something like that, I feel like people who buy this game expecting like, oh, it's a fun little Tony Hawk game or Tony Hawk like game, yeah, it's just a cute little Tony Hawk game. It's like super laid back. You can just do flip tricks the whole time. Like no, it is actually a very complicated game, and they do put a lot of stuff in here. So I'm not super far into the game, so I can't say too much about it. But so far, I like the idea of the story. It feels kind of Ollie World-esque with the characters and stuff like that. But I do like the character designs. I like the train designs. So you can obviously unlock new trains as you go along. You get new paint jobs and stuff like that. You find them in the levels. I think that's really cool too. Level design has been stellar so far. Each level just feels really unique and different. Like even the tutorial levels like have unique things to them. Like the second one is literally just like a circular track where you just kind of keep doing tricks over and over again to learn them, and it works so well as like a little tutorial. Like just go around the track like a bunch of times. And then I think the visual flair is great. I think the soundtrack is really good too. Like they definitely like put the pedal to the metal with this one, and they laid out their deck of cards really early on. So I'm almost nervous as to what they could possibly do to keep this game feeling fresh throughout the whole thing. But as of right now, like I said, it feels really cool. It feels really good. I feel like personally, I have to be in a mood to play this game. Like I gotta want to learn and want to challenge myself in that point in time. Because if you go into this game and you're like, oh, I'll just play a little bit casual here and there, it's not gonna be a casual time. Let me tell you that much. It is definitely like crazy, sometimes crazy. So yeah, I mean, I would give this one a thumbs up. I think that it's definitely worth your time and money if you're willing to look past the steep learning curve and the steep difficulty that the game does present early on. But if you are willing to learn, or if you're willing to fumble your way through it and have some repetition and replaying levels, I think you're gonna have a really good time. I think the soundtrack alone gives it like an edge on a lot of different games that are in the same genre. Or a similar genre, because there's really nothing that's the same about this game. I'm just enjoying the game. I like the vibe. I like the characters, and I'm excited to play more of it down the road. But like I said, you do have to be in a bit of a mood to play this one, because it is a little tough. It's a little toughy. It's got a little bite to it. And I don't think the game is too crazy long either. I think it's like an 8-hour to 10-hour game. So, a couple of sessions here and there, you're good to go. All right. I have one more game to talk about at this moment, and that is a game called Tears of Metal. I don't see long gameplay for it. And instead of just taking a chance and just clicking on someone's video, we'll just keep Denshattack on screen. So let's go ahead and do first impressions for the last time in today's episode. All right. Tears of Metal is a game where you play as a Scotsman. You play as a Scots, and you're fighting against other Scottish people. It's a very Scottish game. The soundtrack, heavily influenced by Scottish music, including bagpipes, of course, and acoustic guitars and stuff like that. And the soundtrack slaps pretty hardcore. If you've ever heard of like the AC/DC bagpipe guy, he was on. I know it's cringe. He was on America's Got Talent, and he plays like AC/DC and stuff with bagpipes. It kind of has that vibe where it's like a little bit heavy with the bagpipes going on, you know. But what is this game? So this is an early access game. It's technically an early access. You can tell that it's an early access because there are some things that are like assets that are missing from the game. But for the most part, it is very playable and it's actually very fun. This is a Dynasty Warriors type game. It has the same action as a Dynasty Warriors game where you're plowing through tons of enemies and you're fighting captains on the enemy team. You're taking points and stuff like that, doing basic objectives along the way. And then this one, it does have a roguelite system to it as well, where if you die, you do restart from the beginning. Some of your I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So essentially, it is a roguelike. So when you die, you do lose pretty much everything. But throughout the course of playing the game, you get upgrades for your character, and you also find more troops to join your squad. And as you level up your permanent stats in the game, you can have more regular guys in your squad to help you out. And I think that's a very cool idea. Already through one playthrough of the game, or run of the game, I found a character who's like this blacksmith woman, and she's like really powerful, and she joins your squad if you do a mission for her. And she's really good. She's really good. I mean, I died, but she does, like, a lot of the characters who are in your squad stick around for the next run. And when you start up a new run, you can choose the characters you want to. So you can choose to have spearmen or regular swordsmen or archers or special characters with you, right? So it's a very cool little customization thing. I don't know how deep it's going to go in the long run, but it is cool to have like command of your troops. It almost reminds me of something like Tinykin, or there was another game where you commanded troops, and you're like little rat characters. It's obviously different from that, but yeah, you command your troops to attack enemies and stuff like that. So you play as one of like 5 characters that you can unlock, and each character kind of has their own vibe to them, their own stats and their own special abilities. So the first guy, he has like this ability to like rain down arrows from above. He like just calls in arrows from above, and you wipe out. Essentially, it's a map wipe. Yeah, so you're playing as a character, and you're going through these different levels. So essentially, you get a map, and you're just checking mark. You're going across the map, choosing which way you want to go. So there's different types of objectives and different types of areas you can go to. There's merchants and stuff you can find, and whatnot. And then you get to the end, and you fight like a little bit of a boss type thing. And the game is challenging. It does have some challenge to it. The combo mode, the combos and stuff are pretty basic. Like you press XXY to do a combo and XXX to do a combo and stuff like that. But the different captain types do keep you on your toes a little bit. There's like spearmen and guys with shields and swords and archers and stuff. So they all have their own unique vibe to them that takes different combos and stuff to take down. It almost reminds me of the combat style of like the Lord of the Rings games from back in the day, where you would have like a specific combo for a berserker orc, or for an orc with a shield, or even like the Chronicles of Narnia game. As silly as it is to bring this up, like that game actually had a pretty in-depth combat system once you unlock the combos. And I remember unlocking a combo that was pretty basic at the end of the day. It was like X square triangle or something like that, but it would take out like any enemy in like one fell swoop. So this game kind of has a similar thing where like you use combos to take down certain enemies. Like you press the dodge button and Y to do like a big shield break, or you press XXY to do a nice sweeping attack, or XXX to do like a big attack around you and stuff like that. So depending on what enemies you're going against, you're going to use the different combos. And then of course you also have your troops to command as well, so you're going to want to use them pretty wisely. And they do take damage, and they can die, and they will die permanently if they do die. So you have to be careful about that. So there's a bit of a unit management system in here as well. So it's very cool. I love the graphic style of this game. It kind of caught my eye right away with this like watercolor painted like style that they have going on. It looks very nice. Combined with the soundtrack, it just feels very cool to play. And this is one of those games where the tutorial, it's like one run of the game, and then they kind of let you go. which is nice. You know, they don't force you to play like a whole tutorial and they automatically kill you. Like once the tutorial is like kind of done, you can still keep playing through the game. And then once you start up a new run, they give you a little bit of more information, and then you're pretty much good to go after that. So yeah, I just feel like you know, in terms of like early access games and like new old concepts, it does what it sets out to do pretty well so far. And you know, in terms of like a Dynasty Warriors like game, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty unique like indie experience that's taking inspiration from Dynasty Warriors, but it's putting a completely different spin on it in a lot of ways. Now I know that there was a Dynasty Warriors roguelite that came out last year. It's a top-down thing. It's like whatever. This is different. This is much different from that. The roguelite game from last year was more of like a Vampire Survivors type kind of thing going on, whereas Tears of Metal is definitely is more so based on what Dynasty Warriors is, but it adds in those roguelite elements and unit management elements as well from like XCOM and stuff like that. So if you want to check it out, I would definitely recommend it. It is like $20 on Steam. It's on sale right now for like 17. But if you want to check it out, I would recommend it. I mean, I give it like a thumbs up right now. Maybe leaning towards a bit of a middle, because I haven't played it enough yet to fully recommend something like this. And also like the fact that it is an early access game can also be a bit of a deterrent for people as well. You know, you don't want to like spend your money on a game that's technically not finished yet. I understand that too. So if you want to wait for that one, you can. But personally, I had a pretty good time playing it for like the hour that I played it today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And I'll probably talk about it more in the near future. Okay. Welcome in, Maz. Hope you're doing good today. Let's go ahead and move over to what's in the news. All right. So we have some beta news for Duskbloods and for the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, two games that we are so hyped about. So Duskbloods, this is the new FromSoft game that's coming exclusively to the Switch 2. Don't forget about that. It is having its network test, and the network test sign-up period is right now. You can try and get into the network test. So if you go to the official campaign.theduskbloods.jp, it'll lead you to the place where you can sign up for the beta. So the network test is going to start August 21st, and it's going to end August 23rd. The application period is from today, yesterday, until July 28th. So make sure you get your applications in. You can apply right now. It needs some very basic information from you. It's nothing too crazy. I'm sure that there will be multiple testing days for the game, as they show right here. And we'll see if it does come out later this year or if it's going to be delayed until next year. As of right now, though, that is the information that we have. And if you want to sign up for that, you can right now. Personally, I'm just interested to see what the game is going to be. Like the trailers and stuff like that show it to be some sort of like multiplayer, almost like Night Rain sort of thing, but on the Switch 2, but in a more of a Bloodborne fashion. That's what it seems to be right now. But once again, like you won't really know until we actually start playing it and seeing stuff about it. So they've kept pretty vague about the game so far, which is kind of in FromSoft fashion. But also at the same time, like it would be nice to know kind of what's going on here, simply because it's a FromSoft game and it's an exclusive to Switch 2. I don't know if this is going to be a console seller per se. I mean, I know there's probably a lot of people who are fans of From Software who are going to want to play this game. And right now, if I'm telling you right now, this is coming from a non-Nintendo fanboy stance. If you want this game in the future, I would highly recommend picking up a Switch 2 now before it goes up in price in September. That way you can get the baseline price of like $400 and then just wait for the game to come out. Because if you wait, then you're going to be paying $450 to $500 for a Switch 2, maybe even more as the prices continue to go up. Right now, the Switch 2 is at its lowest price, So this is just coming from like, hey, I'm just trying to say like, yeah, I mean, if you want this game in the future, just get a Switch 2 now because it's not going to go down in price, as we know. Also, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 Open Beta is coming next month as well. You do not need to pre-order the game, which is a bit unusual for the Modern Warfare, or I'm sure I should say Call of Duty IP. Usually, you need to pre-order the game in order to get access to a beta of some kind. But this time, it's just going to be an open beta. And the reason why I'm talking about this is the fact, like, yes, it is the beta is going to be on Switch 2 as well. So across the board, you can play Modern Warfare on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, and Switch 2. But Switch 2 will not be included in the beta, is what I'm reading right here, which is pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. So pre-orders for the game are going to launch on August 26th. The beta is only going to be available for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox Series X. So I was wrong about that. I misread that earlier. Switch 2 will not be included in the beta, which is kind of annoying in my opinion. And that could also mean that, yeah, I mean, the game is supposed to release October 23rd, but does this mean that the game is not going to launch on Switch 2 on day one? I don't know. Still, though, it is pretty groundbreaking. This is the first Call of Duty game we've gotten on a Nintendo console since the Wii U era. And I believe the last Call of Duty game developed for the Wii U was Call of Duty Ghosts. Maybe Black Ops 3. Maybe Black Ops 3. I feel like Call of Duty Ghosts, though, was the last one. I don't think I... Yeah, I don't have any Wii U Call of Duty games. It's going to be kind of interesting here. The open beta lasts between August 28th and September 1st, and I will be playing the beta. Like, look, I mean, out of all the series and slop that comes out each year, Call of Duty is like my slop, right? Like, for some reason, I always get drawn to Call of Duty. And even though Black Ops 7 was absolute fire dumpster garbage, I'm probably going to play the open beta for Modern Warfare 4. And then once I play Modern Warfare 4, I'm probably, going to pre-order the game or whatever because I'm a fucking stupid consumer. But at the end of the day, like, if there's any series that I can call my slop, Call of Duty is kind of it. Because, like, I mean, I've played every single one. I might as well keep it going. So, yeah. Technically, so Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Ghost. So, yeah, I mean, I was right. Call of Duty Ghost would be the last one that they put on the Wii U. That is that. If you want to play the beta, that'll be up and around. And the game officially launches on October 23rd. Not an ad. All right, let's move on to some unfortunate news. The God of War show. Kratos needs to be recast after Ryan Hurst suffered an injury. I believe he tore his bicep. And Greedy Waffle said this in the Discord. He said it was like a 9-month recovery time. I saw reports of like 4 months, which maybe it's more like 4 months if you're like a superhuman. I don't know. But 9 months seems more reasonable. And I mean, Greedy Waffles would know. But yeah, Ryan Hurst, who they've already recorded like 4 episodes or completed 4 episodes of the show. He has had to step away from being Kratos in the show because of his torn bicep, which is just really, really annoying and really, really unfortunate. I mean, I would say, like, if I was the one who was funding this Amazon, like, look, the fact of the matter is that Amazon has enough money to just pause development of this until Herman Holst is ready to go, right? But instead, they're going to waste however much money to not only hire a new actor, but then re-record. I mean, Kratos is the main character of God of War. Like, they're going to re-record, like, everything for these episodes that they already have recorded. And then they're going to have to scrap the editing process as well for the editors for the show too. So it's like, why not just pause shooting the show, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't think people are on the edge of their seat waiting for this adaptation. I mean, people were clowning on that screen grab they showed of of the two characters. And it's like, even though I was fine with how it looked in general, like you can't lie that, like, yeah, I mean, without like the effects and stuff in the editing on that photo, it is a little bit like cosplay-esque, right? So it's like, yeah, just take the time, let him recover, and then continue recording the show. Like, I don't like I said, it's not like anyone's like on the edge of their seat waiting for this. But they have a deadline. And they need to reshoot, I guess. And the process of getting another actor to play Kratos, it might not be a short process either. You know, I mean, there's a very particular body type and very particular kind of way that the person should look. And like, honestly, like Ryan, his name's Ryan, right? I'm not saying that wrong. Right? Yeah, Ryan Hurst. I mean, in general, like, he has the vibe. I don't think he was a miscast person for this role. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those unfortunate things, and I'm surprised that, like, I guess I'm not that surprised that Amazon is just moving on right away. I guess I'm not surprised at all. Sony's probably pushing for it too, because God of War is like one of their cash cows at this point. But anyway, that is that. Let's move on to more Sony news, though, and we're going to go to Bungie here. The director of Marathon, Joseph Ziegler, has officially left his position at Bungie today. He is departing along with ex-Valorant and social media man Denshattack III. But he wrote, "I just want to say a deep, heartfelt thank you to all of you for supporting me and Marathon in our windy mission to bring a dark and terrifying space survival frontier to your screen. The mission will continue in new and surprising ways, so stay tuned for what the team has in store for you." This comes after Bungie lost 292 full-time employees to layoffs last month, which is unfortunate. Marathon on the PC is peaking around 6,000 players over the past few weeks, which is not a bad amount of players, but obviously not as many players as Sony would want playing this game. Now, there's a lot of people who will poo-poo on Marathon just from the get-go simply because it is a multiplayer game and it's a battle royale type game and whatnot. And I've said this before during my main review of the game, but I'll reiterate, I think Marathon is a very fun first-person shooter. I think the gunplay is where this game really shines. Where the game does not shine is the fact that, yes, it is just a PvP/VE extraction shooter. And I feel like it really lacks the depth that they could have had for this game. With just having a PvP mode or a team deathmatch or something like that would really pull this all together. Well, we've kind of had something about this. So they are adding a new roguelite mode that's playable in both solo and co-op, which I think is a great idea. Now, it's not a team deathmatch or whatever. I feel like in order to add like a team deathmatch mode, they're gonna have to implement a system much like a Call of Duty or something like that, where you have predetermined weapons and whatnot. They made it work in Destiny, so I'm not sure why they wouldn't be able to make it work here, but obviously it is a bit of a different vibe, right? But essentially, I feel like they're doing a roguelite mode. That way, you don't have to monitor the playability of guns and like the balancing of weapons, right? And I'm sure eventually, hopefully eventually down the road, they will add some sort of team deathmatch or something like that with the with pre-made builds and stuff like that to use, almost like an original Call of Duty or Medal of Honor or something like that, right? We'll see. I mean, this is a good first step, though. This adds new content for free to both Steam and PlayStation platforms. And I think it's a very nice addition. So starting on July 21st, you will be able to play the experimental PvE mode, co-op or solo, only until August 4th. That's a little bit weird. I don't like that. This should just be a mode that they keep in the game. Bungie is, I mean, it feels like Bungie is going back to that style of like, hey, we add something to the game and then we take it away, like they did with Destiny 2. Luckily, though, you don't need to buy this mode. Luckily. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I think it's a good stepping stone. I think it should. I don't think it should be a limited time event, in my opinion. I think it should just be something that's around forever. But we'll see what they end up doing in the future. And it's tough because I think a lot of people. I mean, I think there's a lot of layoffs inside the studio. Obviously, the game didn't perform the way they wanted it to. And which is also unfortunate, but it is like, once again, it's an extraction shooter. It's a bit of a more niche genre, and you're entering into this more niche genre with already established extraction shooters out there and free to play extraction shooters and battle royales as well. So you got to expect the game not to do as good as it could, simply because, like, yeah, I mean, there's like 5 other extraction shooters that are either free or they have tenure in the game in the gaming landscape. So you're going to try and push your way into that with a very cool looking game. Like, I love the sci-fi elements of Marathon. I think it really hones in like this like carbon copy kind of like look to it with like these android kind of characters. I think it looks really cool and I think it plays really well. But the problem is that yeah, it's only an extraction shooter and it's getting this roguelite mode, but it's not sticking around. It just doesn't seem right to me. I feel like this game should have been a PvP shooter from the get-go, with a roguelite mode or an extraction mode along with it. I feel like that would have been a great idea. If you're going to sell the game for $40 anyway, just try and pack it with as much content as you can. That way people won't have as much ammo to throw at it when, when the criticism comes around. But unfortunately, people have more ammunition than ever against Marathon, which is then in turn going to stop people from buying the game and playing the game. So I mean, in my opinion, if they do a free weekend, try it out, see if you like it, see if you like the gunplay. I think that once again, I think that really is where the game shines. Is its gunplay and its environments and it's a visual storytelling. I think that all works really well, and I think that's really the selling point of the game for me personally. Where the game is not a selling point is the fact that I'm just not big into extraction shooters. Like I got really into Arc Raiders for a while, and that was fun. But this game is not like Arc Raiders. It's much more rough and tumble. When you meet someone in the world, you better start shooting first because they are not going to help you in your objective. They're going to try and kill you and take your stuff. Unlike with Arc Raiders, where it's like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go take out this arc together. Or hey, let's do the let's adventure around this area. Can you help me with this? Can you help me find this? No. In Marathon, you see someone, you shoot them either in the back or you start shooting in the front as fast as you can. Or use your special ability to catch them off guard. There is no friendships being made in Marathon. Unless you're with partners and then you already have your friends with you. But anyway, that is that. New mode coming to Marathon. All right, more news. The 2 Black Ops re-releases currently have more concurrent players than Black Ops 7. Which is crazy. Also, both versions of the games have sold really well. They are at the top of the PlayStation charts right now. And it's like one of the worst deals in gaming history. The base games themselves are $40. If you buy them right now, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get them for like $20, right? Even then, though, like, it's a lot of money. But $40 if you don't have PlayStation Plus, or if you wait too long to buy them, and then you also have to buy the season pass on top of that, which is like another like $20 to $30, right? Which I feel like is a bit shitty. I feel like if you're gonna sell these games, not do a complete like redo or remake of them or whatever, you're just gonna put them out there. Then like, dude, just release the season pass alongside them. Like, make it free or add it into the game code or files, right? I really feel like these games are old enough that you don't need to do that. But unfortunately, because these are like 2 of the best Call of Duty games of all time, next to Modern Warfare 2 and I don't know, Call of Duty 2 or Modern Warfare 1, people, they're going to be in people's good graces, right? And they're going to be willing to spend the money for it. There's a reason why Call of Duty games on Steam and stuff like that don't lose their value as quickly as other games, and that's because people are willing to pay $40 for Black Ops 2 on Steam, so of course they're going to want to, they're going to pay $40 on PlayStation. Like I said when I was talking about this game or these games before, like this is actually a good thing because the PS3 version of these games, they're either hacked to shit or their lobbies don't work online, which is Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 will literally like bug out your game if you changed your name in the future on PlayStation. Like you literally cannot play the online mode unless you do like these workarounds. So it's good to have native versions of these games running on a current platform. But the problem is that your netcode still sucks. There's people are still hacking in these games. One, and two, you're selling them for the same price of like a brand new, like off the, just a brand new game, right? Which just doesn't make any sense to me. These are old games. They shouldn't be priced at $40 each, which is $80 combined. If you add in the season passes, it's over $100. So anyway, in terms of the engagement tracker here from a guy named Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 debuted in the top 10 on PlayStation, and right now the active users on PlayStation are rivaling the original Call of Duty here. So look at this. Black Ops 2 is at number 6 and Black Ops 1 is at number 9 in terms of like sales and player bases, right? Which is pretty fucking crazy if you ask me. And it's also crazy that we just had this big conversation about digital games, and it's not even PlayStation's fault. I mean, this is Activision and Xbox. You can't blame PlayStation. PlayStation just sells the game for Xbox and Activision. So the main thing, the other crazy thing is that we just had this whole conversation about not owning your digital games and not giving over money to these like corporations that aren't putting out the physical disc. And PlayStation literally just was on fire. It has been on fire about the whole discless future that they're going for. And like it's almost like everyone who was in this camp just threw that away and said, "Oh, Black Ops 1 and 2." And it's like, why for Black Ops 1 and 2 you're gonna pay $40 for these digital games? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, you can go on eBay right now and I'm guessing we can find a pretty cheap copy of Black Ops 1 for PlayStation 3. And like, no, you're not going to get like, the best quality multiplayer. But I mean, look at this. Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 PS3 bundle for $20. Buy it now, or bid on it with 1 hour left. Bid on it for $10, right? Black Ops 1 Complete Edition, $10. Black Ops 1, $12. This one's $32. I believe it's brand new though. But combo pack's actually sealed for $60. I don't know why that's $60. That's a bit high of a price. But I mean, most of these are between the $10 and $15. So you're telling me right now that it's better to, I mean, look, you're essentially you're paying $40 for the ability to play Black Ops 1 and 2 on a modern platform. That's essentially what you're doing. You're paying to play these games on a modern platform. You're getting the same experience almost with hackers and whatnot. You still have to buy the season pass for both versions of the games anyway. So it's like, look, if you have a PS3 or if you have an Xbox 360 or if you have an Xbox One for that matter, you can just throw these games in. You can buy these games for like $10. And put it into your Xbox One or your 360 or your PS3. Now I know that the PlayStation is a bit of a different animal because the PS3 games don't work on PS4 and PS5, right? But the bottom line is like, dude, if you really, really want to play these games, there are so many other ways to play it, including Steam. You can buy these games on Steam. I mean, they're too much money right now as they are, but when there's a sale going around, you buy them for like $20 a pop. Boom, there you go. Like the multiplayer mode's still going to be a bit scuffed, but you have the zombies mode. You can buy the season pass, and you can play the single player mode. And like I said, so you're paying the tax to essentially just play these games on a modern platform. And if that's all you want, there you go. But if you're simply buying these games for the nostalgia of it, or because you heard that they were the best games in the Call of Duty franchise, I feel like there's better ways to play it and more cheaper alternatives to play them as well. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, I understand why these games are selling so well. It's because they are some of the best games that Call of Duty has to offer. But at the same time, you are getting absolutely ripped off if you buy these games. If you buy them for full price, you're buying them for like $20 a pop. It's a little bit better, but at the same time, like, you're still getting ripped off because the season pass isn't included and stuff like that. And people will defend these actions by saying like, well, of course you have to buy the season pass, or of course they're not going to bundle in the season pass. But it's like, we have complete editions of games that sell for the same price. Like, there are complete editions of like Neo, or complete edition of Bloodborne, or Dark Souls 3, or what. You can buy those games for $40. You get the season pass, you get all the extra content. Sometimes they even put that content on the disc, like Cult of the Lamb is doing. But no, I mean, this is Black Ops 1 and 2 for $40 a pop if you don't have PlayStation Plus, and you have to pay for the $30-something season pass. And it's like, yeah, the season pass is worth it because it has a lot of cool zombie maps. Like, Black Ops 1 has some of the most classic zombie maps ever. Black Ops 2 added in some really cool ones. Also added in all of the Black Ops 1 maps in the Black Ops 2, I believe. And Black Ops 1 has the Legacy Pack as well from World at War. You can buy all of the old maps for Zombies mode, but with the modern fixings like Pack-a-Punches and stuff like that, which is really cool. And yes, it's worth getting. Back in the day. That's the asterisk right there. Back in the day, totally worth playing. When the player base was at a peak for these games, worth buying the season pass, worth getting the multiplayer maps, worth getting the zombies maps, just for the experience alone of those zombies maps, right? But now, you're paying $40 plus extra for old games. There's nothing even done to them, except they put them on the modern platform. They do have trophy support, thank goodness. But yeah, I mean, look, I've seen reports that the multiplayer, there's still hacked lobbies and stuff like that you can get into. You do. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I like, if these games, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. If these games are $40 with the season pass included, I would say that's a fine deal. It's okay, right? I'm not gonna buy that, but it's a little bit better. But because this isn't being sold as a combo pack for $40 with the season pass included, because they're being sold separately for $40, because the season pass is not included, it is not a good deal. It's not a good deal. They're preying on the nostalgia of the player base. They're preying on the fact that the PS3 version of Black Ops 2 doesn't work properly. They're preying on the fact that the servers for the old games are non-functioning because they are hacked the shit. They're preying on all those facts to get you to buy these games, and it's working. And it's working. And you lap that shit up. You get on your hands and knees for Activision. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on to a preview. Okay, a game called Stage Tour is coming out later this year, and it's actually coming to multiple platforms, which is kind of crazy. So this is coming from the people who are like in the community of Guitar Hero, and they play Guitar Hero and Rock Band like for content and stuff like that. Oop, I didn't mean to play that. It's coming from Red Octane Games, which does sound like a Guitar Hero studio, does it not? But like all these creators are helping develop this game, including the most, I would say the most famous of them, which is SI 28. He's like the biggest. I would say he's the biggest face in the community right now. He's the one that I watch at least. But he is helping direct this game and really bring it into what people want the game to be. They want it to be like the old Rock Band and Guitar Hero games. So not only did we get a portion of the track list shown off, but they also showed off that there are specific controllers being released for this game as well. So you're getting a Kramer branded, kind of like a Rock Band style guitar. You're getting a kind of Rock Band mix Guitar Hero style drum kit, and then also you're getting a microphone as well for the game for the full band experience. But you can play this game with just guitar or just drums if you so desire. I'm sure they're going to release some sort of combo pack as well. So what songs are they going to have on the set list? So right now there's a few licensed tracks that they have made available for you to see that they're going to be in the game. I'm sure there will be more in the game as well. But you have Rat-ta-ta-ta-ta, Baby Metal featuring Electric Cowboy, Get the Funk Out from Extreme, Square Hammer by Ghost, Mimi's Delivery Service by Good Kid, Danny California by Red Hot Chili Peppers, which was a classic on the original Rock Band, Terminator Oscillator by Static X, Island in the Sun by Weezer, Bite Me from Avril Lavigne, Airhead from Honey Revenge. For a pessimist, I'm Pretty Optimistic, which is a Paramore song, The Unknowing by Jay Fahari, Jane from The Long Faces, Do Me Like That by The Paradox, Siren by Castle Rat, Broken Dreams Inc. by Rise Against, and Psychosocial from Slipknot. So yeah, this is pretty cool. They also confirmed that the other guitars that have come out in the past from like CRKD and stuff like that, PDP, the guitars will work for the game. I believe they will also work for the Switch 2 as well, because yes, it does have Bluetooth functionality. So yeah, I'm actually very excited for this. When the game comes out, I would like to see the pricing on it first and foremost. This is a kind of a funny image. The one guy's playing like an actual real bass guitar. The other guy's playing a Guitar Hero controller. But I think that it'll be really interesting to see how this game really performs, how it really looks, and how it really plays, and then also what the pricing is going to be of said instruments and stuff like that. They also confirmed, like, yeah, you can also play with a controller or a keyboard as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that the game itself is looking very good. You can obviously sign up to be notified when the game is going to be available for pre-orders and stuff like that. I think that, like, in general, like this is definitely a Rock Band style like highway, but it's Guitar Hero gem notes from like the classic Guitar Hero games is what it kind of looks like to me. Maybe in terms of like a Guitar Hero 5 style in terms of like the gem notes. But the tracks themselves are very reminiscent of like Rock Band, and also like the presentation of the game as well looks very much closer to Rock Band in general. But I think that I'm very interested in this. I do have high hopes for this, because you have a group of people who not only have worked on these games in the past, but also are very much in the scene of these games. Like these creators who have literally poured their heart and soul into learning these games and like playing them to their maximum ability. These are the people you want helping direct these games. You don't want the Joe Schmo from off the street who was just working on Destiny 2 or whatever. You want the guy who's actually been in the scene and working, playing these games, knowing the ins and outs of these games. And you would definitely want the people who have worked on those games in the past to come back and work on them for you. So yeah, very cool. We'll see what the quality of these controllers are like. I'm hoping that they're high quality controllers. And then, the game itself is coming in fall 2026, which doesn't seem that far away. It really doesn't seem that far away. So I will keep my finger on the pulse of this one. And let's move on. All right, some unfortunate news for people who are waiting for the Dying Light 2 PS4 and Xbox One versions. Refunds are being issued for both. Wait, hold on. It's just The Beast. Dying Light 2 came out on the PS4. So yeah, Dying Light The Beast has been canceled for PS4 and Xbox One. And if you pre-ordered the game, or if you bought like the season pass for Dying Light 2, it included The Beast in it, you were getting refunds for those things. So they've officially decided to not launch the game on older platforms, which makes sense because it probably is a lot of work to get this game running on an older platform. I mean, I reviewed this game last year. It's very good, but once again, it's very intensive. It's like a very intensive game in terms of like graphics and performance and stuff like that. So on their Twitter account, they said, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision that Dying Light The Beast will no longer release on PS4 and Xbox One. Dying Light The Beast was built from the ground up to take a full advantage of the current generation hardware. Its open world, advanced visuals, and fluid combat and traversal all depend on processing power and memory that previous generation consoles simply cannot provide. As development progressed, it became clear that bringing the game to these platforms would require compromises that would prevent us from delivering the experience we set out to create. This is not a matter of choosing to leave those platforms behind. Rather, it reflects the technical realities of development and our commitment to delivering the best possible experience. We know many of you were looking forward to playing PS4, Xbox One, and we are truly sorry for disappointing that for you. Disappointment this causes. Anyone who is expecting to play on either platform will be eligible for a refund. So, yeah, obviously there's gonna be mixed results in the replies here. But I do think, like, in general, like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And also, like, I think one of the main issues with the current generation of PS4 and PS5 and Xbox Series X and S is the fact that they did latch on to the PS4 and they've kept the PS4 and Xbox One alive for the entire generation. I think Nintendo is really doing it right, where they've kept the Switch 1 alive for the first like year of the Switch 2, but now they're moving on to the Switch 2. They're just being full Switch 2. With Rhythm Heaven Groove being the final Switch 1 game officially released by Nintendo. So it makes that makes sense. Like, only a year more of support, a year more than maybe you would expect, especially based on past generations of Nintendo consoles. But that's nice. On the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, though, they've suffered from that idea of like, okay, I'll just get it on PlayStation 4 or whatever. There's not too many games that are completely exclusive to the the current gen stuff for PlayStation 5 and Series X. Now there are games for sure, but a lot of AA indie games, etc., are still launching on older consoles, and there is still a player base on those consoles. Don't get me wrong, but if I was PlayStation or Xbox, I would say, hey, stop releasing these games on older platforms because it's kind of pissing me off. But that's that. So yeah, understandable. Maybe a little bit disappointing. But if you really want to play the game, I think it would be best played on current generation, and maybe there will be a Switch 2 version of the game in the future. All right, preview. Oh boy, I sure do like DC fighting games. I mean, Injustice is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. I really hope they don't fuck this. Oh. DCKO is coming soon. Well, I guess not coming soon, but it's coming out. It's going to be a free-to-play fighter based on DC Comics, and it is very much in the style of Marvel Token Fighters. Now, whether they threw this game together simply because Marvel Token Fighters is coming out and they wanted to capitalize on that or not, I'm not gonna say. But yeah, so Dicko. People are calling it Dicko. What did I call it? I called it something funny. Did I call it? Was it in our Discord or the GG Discord? I don't remember. Hold on. This is gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it because it's so funny. What I said was so funny. Nope, not this Discord. Boy howdy. Now I gotta find where it is in here. Splatoon. Duskbloods. I feel like it was right around here. This is great content. Yeah, me scrolling through a Discord. Okay. That was on the 20th. Come on. We can do this. Oh, it's not working. It's turned off. You telling me KO? I didn't. Nope. Yeah, they don't have it turned on in this Discord. Yeah, it's just my reviews. Well, I said something really fucking funny, and I can't remember what I said. And it was on the same wavelength as Dick KO. Here we are. We're talking about Marvel games here. I was there. I was there. Oh my god, this is so much to scroll through. Talking about GTA. I remember all these conversations too. All right, you know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just pretend that I found the really funny joke that I made. Anyway, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't think that the graphic style looks terrible. I mean, it definitely is inspired by something like a anime manga type thing. And this could have been in development for quite some time before Marvel Token Fighters was announced. Personally, I don't think so, though. This does look a bit thrown together, in my opinion. Now, I will say, out of all the things to say about this game, free-to-play fighting game on phones, mobile only, by the way, which is also crazy, the roster is pretty impressive. You have like Blue Beetle, you have Constantine, you have Raven, the Damian Wayne Robin, which you don't see too often, Bane, Starfire. Like, it's a pretty good roster in all honesty. But the problem is that it just doesn't look that great. And I don't know how this game is going to play. I remember playing the Injustice mobile game, which was absolute ass. But in order to get the Flash New 52 costume, you had to play like through the tutorial of that. So I did it. And I remember Injustice on mobile just being really, really bad. And I'm getting flashbacks. Now, even though this looks better than that, obviously, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man. They could have just polished this and fleshed this out to be a full DC fighting game, but instead they're like, you know, we're gonna make it into a free-to-play game. Probably gonna have a battle pass in it. Probably gonna have to like watch ads and stuff like that. You know, there's probably gonna be tons of microtransactions for costumes and whatnot. Like I can totally see that coming. But some silver lining here. The art style is kind of cool. Like with look at this frame right here. I mean, that's a pretty cool frame right there. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but that does look pretty good. The regular style is fine. But the other thing too is I think the roster is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. The pre-registration is going to open soon for DCKO. Play DCKO.com. And if you want to check out that trailer, it's on DCKO's official YouTube channel. Damn, they got an official YouTube channel for this, huh? That's pretty crazy. Anyway, that is that. Also, let's go ahead and move over to Ratchet and Clank mobile. So this is the Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble game. This is the brand new Ratchet and Clank coming to iOS and Android. Pretty crazy that it's not coming to PlayStation. I feel like there should be a PlayStation version of this, but I digress. We got a new global launch times, and you can now pre-register for the game as well on the official website. And I have done this already. I did decide to pre-register because if you do pre-register for the game, you unlock more quartastic rewards. So depending on how many people pre-register for this game, which is pretty fucking funny, this is actually kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. The more people who pre-register for the game, the more rewards you get. Right now, as of recording this article came out yesterday at 12 p.m. midday. They released all the information for this in a new trailer for the game. They said pre-registration is open right now. If you go in and pre-register for this game, you get rewards. The more people to pre-register, the more rewards you get. Right now, we don't even have... We have about halfway to the first reward, which is the free 1,000 credits. And it's just sad. It's just sad. They have a Clank suit and widget skin for free if you get, a million people to sign up for this. You have epic rewards, you have raritanium, stuff like that. Like all these rewards. I don't feel like this game is going to reach the number of pre-registrations. I just don't see that happening. And once again, it's just sad. It's just sad. Like they put all, like, look, I'm not gonna lie. I think the vibe of this game is good. I think that the visual style of this game for a mobile game is fine. I think that using the Ratchet and Clank IP for something like this is kind of shitty. But at the same time, I could see myself having a little bit of fun with this. I could see myself having a little bit of fun with this. You know, I mean, I like the Crash Bandicoot game. I forget what it was fucking called, Crash Team Rumble or something like that. I like that game, and it does remind me of that. So like, I'm sure I can get a couple hours of enjoyment out of this. But this is just fucking sad. If this game does not have a player base day one, it's going to be DOA, much like other live service Sony games, and it's just sad. It's just sad to see that. Like, look, when they took the picture for the website, it was at about the same place. It's like everyone who wanted to pre-register for the game, who were excited about this, did it, and then no one else has pre-registered since then. It's just fucking crazy. So I mean, you know, look, it's I think the game is probably going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be a bad game, but also at the same time, I just don't know who's going to really want to play this, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Well, here we go. One guy is like really looking forward to this. Look at that. Oh, look. I got excited the second when I saw Ratchet. Look at that. Is there a disc version? No, unfortunately not. Yeah, I feel like if they had released this game on mobile and on PlayStation 5, I think a lot more people would be excited for this. But the fact that it is just a mobile game is going to, of course, dissuade people from even trying it, because in a lot of ways, I mean, if we want to be super 100% realistic about this, you go to a gamer and you say, "Hey, check out my mobile game." It kind of already has a bad reputation. Mobile gaming in general, even though it's gotten much better in the last like 5 years, it still has a stigma attached to it where it's like, "Oh, it's a mobile game? No thanks." Even though there's been a couple of really good selling mobile games and games that have a lot of popularity, like Candy Crush, Mario Kart Tour, Tetris. I don't know my mobile games too well. I mean, well, look, I think that if you get into a mobile game, you get into a mobile game. I remember that Devolver Digital Tumble game. I played that religiously for like a year straight, and I even paid for it for a little bit. I paid for like a premium service for a little bit. I just really got into it. It was like one of the only mobile games I've ever paid money for, right? But other than that, like, when's the last time I played a mobile game? That's it. That's literally it, other than like playing a little bit of like Unblocked or whatever, where you move the pegs to move a block out of the maze. I think I played a little bit of that for free, of course. Other than that, like, I literally don't have a mobile game on my phone right now. Like, I have the Xbox app and the PlayStation app. I don't use them, but I have them on there. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could see myself playing this and probably having some fun with it, but also at the same time, I'm not going to hold my breath and think that there's going to be a million people playing this from day one. I'm not going to hold my breath and be like, oh, I'm going to buy the currency for this game. No, if I buy anything for this game, it's going to be if and only if it's a really good game. 1, 2, if and only if the player base is sticking around, and if and only if there was a PS5 version of this game, which is the big thing. But, you know, it's a free game. It's not like they're charging you like $20 to play it in general. Like, it is a free game. Expect there to be ads. Expect there to be microtransactions. Expect there to be like things behind paywalls, of course. But if the base game is fun enough, then fuck yeah, sure, let's go for it. But I think the main problem, though, is that there's not a PS5 version. That Star Wars Hunters game that came out a few years ago, it was a cross-release on Switch 1 and on mobile. That worked out pretty well. You could beat up on the people using mobile games if you played the Switch 1 version. I did that. I won like every single match simply because I was playing with a Pro controller. And you could tell that everyone else in the game were playing on mobile platforms. And maybe that's what Sony wanted to avoid, was the discrepancy between mobile gaming and console gaming. But at that point, then just make a PS5 version of this game. You know, just make like a regular PS5 version of the game and make it separate from the mobile version. I think that'd be fine too. And maybe they will do something like that in the future. But as of right now, it is just a mobile game, which is kind of disappointing. but also at the same time, like, it's Ratchet and Clank. I'm probably going to have some fun with it, at least. And if it's anything like that Crash Bandicoot game that came out a couple years ago, I'll probably find some enjoyment in it. So, here's some of the characters, though. We got Widget, who's an all-rounder. We got Mopes, pretty hot. We got Lil Ann, which is like a pirate character. We got Celeste, which is like a space pirate character. We got Chip, like a little scientist dude. We got Sparky, a little cute Garfield-looking guy, Garfield-looking ass. We got Lump, who's like a gooey, goopy guy made of cum. Cool. Tempest, who is literally a robot pirate. We got Sprocket, who's another like regular character. We got Zed, robot dude. We got Grimshot, who's the cool-looking chameleon guy. And we're back around the widget. In general, I think the character designs aren't too bad. Like to like expanding the universe of Ratchet and Clank with some new playable characters. Like in general, I think every single one of these characters has like a nice design. Maybe minus this guy because he just looks a little bit too much like the widget character. But in general, I think I think Lump is a pretty good character. I think like Sparky. I mean, I meme on it a little bit, but Sparky is actually like a cool character design. Like I think that's a good kind of cool character design. This guy's kind of weird. But yeah, I think in general, I think the character designs are pretty good. So if the game plays well, like maybe I'll find myself playing a bit more of it than I was expecting. I don't know. But until then, we don't really know what it's going to be like. I mean, I mean, there has been some play tests and stuff like that. I just haven't participated in them. But I mean, it's not like I have high hopes for this game, but I'm not like in the dumps about it. Like I'm actually kind of like I'm not excited about it, but I am interested. I'm interested and I will play it. I will play it. Not just for the podcast, but because I'm interested in it. And plus, I love Ratchet and Clank. All right. Once Upon a Katamari is getting some DLC. Pretty nice. This is like the first time Katamari is getting a DLC pack since like Katamari Forever, I'm pretty sure. But you are getting Rolling Live Highlights. This DLC pack will add new stages as well as new music and playable cousins from the mobile title. So it's kind of like the situation from Mario Kart 8 where they put a bunch of those Mario Kart Tour tracks into the game. Well, this is kind of the same thing where they took the mobile game, which I don't believe the mobile game is available on Android. It's only available on iOS. So they're taking levels from that game and putting them in the regular game, which is actually really good. Which is actually like a really cool thing. These DLCs will be available on October 8th. I believe it's going to be about $10. So there's 10 new quests, 6 new characters, and a bunch of new songs from the mobile game. They're not doing a good job of letting people know about it. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Are you talking about the Ratchet and Clank game, or are you talking about the Katamari DLC? I kind of moved on. Let me know. But anyway, the Ratchet game. Callus, I have talked about the game on the podcast before. It says more about you than it does Ratchet and Clank. That is a joke. All right, coming soon. All right, the game of the year is coming soon, folks. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush. You think I'm memeing, but I am genuinely pretty excited for this. And I don't know if I'm going to buy it day one, but the Hot Wheels games are like, look, the last 2 Hot Wheels games have been high quality. Not just in like graphics and whatnot, but the racing, the customization, not the customization, but the racing, the track layouts, it's all been cool. This is taking the concept of Infinite of the last few games, and it's just making an open world game much like Forza. And it's funny that they're releasing this game the same year as Forza. It's just a little bit funny. So the game was originally supposed to launch on September 24th, but now it is coming September 10th, which is 2 or 3 days before Wolverine. So they're still kind of in like a really bad place. But a little bit better place in general, getting it out of that 24th date, because the 24th had like everything releasing. So from the game studio Milestone, they said, looks like the finish line got a little bit closer. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush now launches on September 10th. And look, like I said, you think I'm memeing, but I am genuinely kind of excited for this. I think it looks pretty fucking good for a Hot Wheels open world racing game, you know? Because a lot of times you get like these little, you know, I mean, they're kid games essentially. You know, they're not like made for adults per se. I mean, adults can play them, but you get these like kid games and like. I mean, it just looks like, look at this. Like, am I not supposed to like be a little bit hyped about this like map layout? Like, look at the fucking octopus tearing apart the lighthouse. Like, that's cool. Look at the giant scorpion. I mean, I can only imagine what they're gonna do with this dinosaur area, dinosaur world. You know, King Kong, fucking King Kong. I'm trying to go back to the like sweeping shot they had. I don't remember where that is. But like, look, I mean, the coolest part of the last couple of games, I forget their names for some reason, turbocharged or whatever, Hot Wheels. The cool thing is like they built the tracks around a basic layout of like a map, right? And in this case, what they can do is they can do the same thing, but much like Forza Horizon, they can make the tracks into the world themselves and bake them into the world themselves instead of it being like just a, you know, a random track, right? So having multiple areas to go to, multiple maps to go to, having the ability to just kind of like race around wherever you want. Of course, it's going to be open world, free roam. Probably have some like weird quests in there and whatnot. Looks like there was challenges too. Obviously, there's online racing as well. They brought back magnetic tracks, which is pretty cool too. I mean, look, you know, call me what you want. Game's coming out the 10th of September. I'll definitely be playing this one. Maybe not right away, but I'll definitely be playing this one. And this is probably going to be Game of the Year. I mean, if Jeff Keighley doesn't nominate it for Game of the Year, I don't know what will be Game of the Year, but yeah, pretty cool right there. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush. Spicy. All right, also coming soon, NBA 2K27. They finally have revealed the cover athletes. Also, they revealed that they are dropping the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game for the first time in a long time. Yeah, if you own a PS4, you're not going to be able to play the latest and greatest NBA 2K games. Now, let me tell you this. I'm not a fan of the 2K game, you know, NBA games. I'm not a fan of basketball. I mean, I like basketball, but I'm not like a super fan of it, right? I think the games play well from what I've played, you know, when I've played them, blah blah blah. Like I think they're fine. They look great too. You know, they play fine. They have the predatory nature of a sports game though, with like ultimate teams and whatnot, microtransactions, stuff like that. So there are those like things that I don't like about these games, but also at the same time, I think in general, I think the 2K sports games are better than the EA sports games. So take that with what you will. So who are our cover athletes? So the game is going to be available on the 4th of September. Another game coming out in September. So this year, the San Antonio Spurs' Victor Wembanyama is going to front the Standard Edition. On the Deluxe Edition, the WNBA's Caitlin Clark is going to be on the Deluxe Edition. And on the Legends Edition, Chicago Bulls legend Derrick Rose will be on the Ultimate Edition. So that's pretty cool. So the Standard Edition of the game is $70. The Deluxe Edition is it's $100. It'll give you 1,000 career points, a bunch of bullshit. And the Ultimate Edition is $150. Which includes the season passes and a bunch of other bullshit as well. So there you go. If you want to pay $150 for a digital only game, be my fucking guest, dude. But there will be a full gameplay reveal on the 28th of July. So if you want to check that out, that's coming soon. But there you go. A lot of times I played these games on like PlayStation Plus the year after they are released, and I get my 1 hour of gameplay. Greedy Waffles and I play a little bit around with it. We have a little bit of laughs, a little bit of goose, but mostly we just go, okay, it's an NBA game, and then we quit out. Feel like the same thing's gonna happen here, but there you go. All right, we got a little bit of last minute news from today. Xbox has announced that PC will get some backwards compatible games for the PC. Which is kind of a funny thing to say, backwards compatibility for PC, because technically these are original Xbox games playing on PC, so technically they're just being, fucking ported over there. But they call this backwards compatibility. Now, I think that what they mean is like these games are going to be coming to like Game Pass on Xbox for PC, which is fine. I think all 4 of these games pretty classic, right? You got Blinks, you got Conquer, you got Crimson Skies, and you got Fusion Frenzy. If there's one game from this list that you should play, it is Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. It is a plain game in the same vein as Blazing Angels. It's fantastic. Conquer Live and Reloaded is a remake of the original Conquer game. A lot of people say it loses its original charm. I never played this one. And then Blinks, the Time Sweeper. In terms of mascot platformer type games, this one is fine. It never really caught on for me personally, but for an attempt at a platformer from Xbox, it's not terrible. And then Fusion Friendly, Fusion with a Z, by the way, is goofy. It's fucking goofy, and it's definitely worth like checking out, but not worth like buying. But yeah, like I said, it's just a little bit funny that they're calling these backwards compatible, but it's like you're not what you're gonna put Blinks and the original Xbox version of Blinks into your disc drive and play it? No, it's gonna be on the Game Pass like service, I think. But there you go. Ooh, here's your minimum requirements for PC. Ooh, let's dive into this. NVIDIA GTX 950 or an AMD Radeon 550, a CPU of 4-core Intel i3 or an AMD Ryzen 3, RAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM, Windows 11, which is kind of weird that it would say Windows 11. I guess it's because Windows 10 isn't supported anymore. Drivers, latest version, January 2026. Cool beans. Also, in the same vein of things, Xbox has introduced a free game streaming service with ads. It's essentially a free version of Game Pass where you watch like, I don't know, a minute of ads before like an hour of gameplay. So you'll be able to test out this feature soon if you're a member of the Xbox Insiders group. But it sounds like the full version of this is going to kind of be that same concept where you watch a group of ads before you play your game. You have about an hour long of playtime before another set of ads will grace your presence. Now, the way that Xbox is handling this seems, I don't want to say is fine, because like the idea of ads while gaming is crazy and stupid and not a good idea. But the way that they're handling this seems okay. So they've stated that ads are going to create value for the player, which is stupid. The ads will not interrupt the flow of gameplay, which is good. The ads will be at the same quality as their content, which is just like a nothing statement. They'll be clear about what's being advertised, so the ads won't be like in the game screen and be like an ad for Pepsi and like while you're playing Forza. We make sure ads fit the players, what the players expect on each platform. So you're not going to be getting hentai games on the Xbox platform. So in a press release, they said, for many players, a device they already own now allows them to stream games with Xbox Cloud. But Xbox Cloud can also can help Xbox One owners play newer games built for Xbox Series X without needing to purchase new hardware right away. That can be especially meaningful in places where consoles are harder to find or less affordable, giving more players another way to access great games on devices they already have. So this is essentially a service for Xbox One users and or Xbox Series X users. I'm sure you could play it on Xbox Series X, where you don't have the ability to upgrade to an Xbox Series X. You still have an Xbox Series One, or if you have an Xbox Series X, you have the ability to play some of the newer games with some strings attached. Now, let me be clear. Quote Obama here. Let me be clear. Xbox has made this problem. They created this problem of people not being able to afford to upgrade to the latest and greatest in Xbox gaming capabilities because the prices are too high on their consoles. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but fuck me, the price of an Xbox Series S is too much. It is too much. That console, that system started at a very affordable price, and now it is at an unaffordable price for the value that you're getting in that console. And if you get an Xbox Series X, it's even more money. With the disc drive, even more money. It doesn't make sense. Xbox has literally caused this problem of people not wanting to upgrade to an Xbox Series X because it's too expensive. It's too expensive for the average gamer. And right now, anyone who was thinking about an Xbox Series X is probably going to say, I'm good, once they see the prices of the new Xbox consoles. Now, it's kind of crazy because Xbox did see a surge in sales of consoles, and I don't know if that's because of PlayStation coming out saying that they're not doing, the PS6 is going to be a digital-only console, or if it's because of GTA 6. I'm feeling like it's more because of GTA 6. But right now, there was a bump of sales for the console, which is crazy. But the fact of the matter remains that there are still a lot of people who are on the older generation who just can't afford the latest and greatest in Xbox technology. And yes, I do feel like this is a nice service for those people, even though it has a lot of strings attached. And even though we don't know the full scope of the ads, how long the ads will play before you play a game, how what those ads are going to be geared towards, if they're going to be geared towards Xbox studios, or they're going to sell the ad space to third parties like Coca-Cola or whatever, we don't know. We just don't know until it's going to be actually put into practice. But looking out, just having the perspective of someone who I'm gonna be unbiased, right? It's nice for people who don't have the option to buy a new game or to buy a new console or to pay for Xbox Game Pass or whatever, right? It'll be nice for those people to be able to play a little bit of Forza or a little bit of Gears of War or something like that, right? Just a little bit of it, get a taste of it, play for an hour, watch some ads, play for another hour, right? I think that in general, it sounds a bit dystopian, but it's also it seems okay, but we'll see how it actually plays when it's actually put into practice. So people who are part of Xbox Insiders will be able to play their own games with ads enabled, which is really fucking funny to test out the service. So you can literally turn on ads on your own game to play for an hour and then watch some ads just to test the service. Pretty fucking funny. Pretty funny indeed. But look, if this was 2 years ago, I would say, don't worry about this. Just buy an Xbox Series S if you want to, play some Xbox Game Pass games or whatever. But now because the Xbox is so unaffordable, I can't recommend upgrading. Just stay on the Xbox One. If it works and it's playing well and you can use the cloud streaming services, stay on that. Because at this point, it's not worth it to buy an Xbox Series X because not only is it too expensive, but at the same time, Project Helix probably going to release within the next 2 years. And that's that. All right, one more thing. And then we can do the question of the podcast, the first time in years. We have some more games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers. The extra tier games that are going to be available to play in July are Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, Rise of the Ronin, Firefighting Simulator Ignite, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind, Dying Light, Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector, and Snow Bros Wonderland. I think out of these games, Dying Light is definitely the best one here. I think if you like a beat 'em up, I think Rita's Rewind is fine. I don't remember seeing raving reviews about that one. Rise of the Ronin is a Team Ninja game that just did not hit the mark for me personally. But maybe try it out. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. This is Ubisoft slop at its best, I would say. If you enjoyed the game, there's DLC for it. And Snow Bros Wonderland is a re-release of an old retro game, which is pretty fun. I have never played Firefighting Simulator or Citizen Sleeper 2. There you go. Here are your premium games for July. We have Indigo Prophecy, the PS4 version, and PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy, also the PS4 and PS5 version. Those will be available for free, which is a little bit disappointing because when I look at the premium tier games, these retro games, I want games that aren't already readily available. Release something goofy off the wall. Don't be releasing games that have PS4 versions or PS5 versions for that matter. Give me something fresh. Give me something that's old. Give me something that's this is the original version of Vigilante 8th. This is the PS1 version of blah blah blah, Line Runner or whatever it's called, right? Give me something crazy. But you know, I mean, look, Indigo Prophecy, Psyops, these aren't even like really good games either. Like Indigo Prophecy is very rough in general. I mean, it's groundbreaking, sure, but also the guy who designed it is like an asshole. But anyway, so yeah, between the 15th of July and the 28th of July, these games will be released on the premium and extra tier service. If you want to check those out, gotta get with my friends. Okay, let's move on to the question of the show. We do have a question today. It feels like the first time. And this question for today comes from our good buddy Callus, and he asks, "Hey Yummy, discs sometimes have unique art or cool designs to them. Do you have any particular game discs that come to mind that stand out? Bonus points for show and tell." Well, give me those bonus points right now, boy. Give me those bonus points right now. Oh. Because I picked out my favorite discs from my collection of video games. We're going to start with one that actually is a more recent release, I guess I should say. Let me go to my full screen for this, I guess. But I really like the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag disc. I think it's moody. It has the main character on there, plus some of the ship, a little bit of the ship in there. So that's pretty cool. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is also the game that was I originally bought on PS3, but it had the PS4 upgrade to it. Another one, we have Batman Arkham City. I think the aesthetic of Batman Arkham City is amazing with the white. Like it's in stark contrast to everything that the Dark Knight stands for, right? Dark colors, nighttime, bats, etc. They turn the entire game white. So Batman here in his white color palette with a white disc looks really good. It looks fantastic. I've always loved the Arkham City aesthetic. It's why it's one of my favorite games of all time. Next up, we have a goofy one, but it is one of my favorites in terms of game discs. It is from the Deadpool video game, and the Deadpool video game, if you get it physically, is a stack of pancakes. I just think it's kind of cute, kind of funny. This game is pretty pricey nowadays if you want to get it physically, and I have a physical copy. Now, this might be one of the weakest of the God of War games, but it does have a pretty cool disc because it is technically just the Omega symbol for God of War, but it's in this cool like gold style and it goes around the disc there. So I do think it looks aesthetically pleasing, the black background with the gold symbol. Next up is a goofy one. So when I pick up limited run or super rare games, I would hope that they put a lot of effort into the game discs themselves. While I was flipping through my collection and pulling out limited run games, a lot of them just had very basic covers. But one in particular stood out to me while I was flipping through, and that is a game called Potato Sack Racing Simulator 2024. It's just peak, really. It has two guys on there, probably characters from the game. One guy's yelling into a microphone. The other guy is giving like a Sigma face. I don't know. But this is one of those games that I picked up from Limited Run because it's just like so, I don't know, like Potato Sack Racing Simulator. Like, sure. Here's another kind of like goofy one, but I thought it really matched up with the game itself. So we have the Patrick Star game here, SpongeBob SquarePants Patrick Star game. The middle of the disc is his belly button. I think that it's really cute. I think aesthetically it works perfectly. The other SpongeBob games just put Patrick on the disc or SpongeBob on the disc, like just as a character, like a PNG. But they actually went the extra mile and made Patrick look like his belly was the disc, and I like that a lot. Also, the game is pretty fun. It's a pretty fun game. Next up is a classic. There's memes written about this game. But the cover is cool. It's the Bloodborne cover. It has the character's face there. Back in the day, you put your fingers there and it looks like he has a butt crack. I get it. Haha, very funny. Funny story actually about my Bloodborne copy here is I had to replace the case for it, and I got this off-brand PlayStation case that's just, it's not the right color. On the inside, it's just not right. It's weird. I don't even remember where I got that from. So I have another limited run game here, and this was actually one that I found to be quite nice. This is the Bubsy Perfect Collection. It's essentially a yarn ball, but I thought that looked cute. It's cute. Oh, Callus shared some in the Discord, so we'll look at those next. I have an oldie but a goodie here. Lord of the Rings Return of the King. I always thought that the disc for this one was just epic. It's the Battle of the Black Gate there in the background. Very nice. Like that one. Next up is one that, honestly, this might be my favorite disc of all time. And that is for Sonic 06. It is literally just Sonic's face on the disc. Like zoomed in, like super close up. It's symmetrical, like his face matches the symmetrical nature of the disc. So I thought that was kind of funny. It looks like there's maybe a printing issue on this because like the logo is like smeared. Kind of funny. I have two more here. We have another game on the PlayStation, and even though I didn't really enjoy this one. Deathloop, though, I think the disc itself looks really cool. It's got that 80s or 70s aesthetic to it. It's got the name on the thing on the disc there. But I like the disc on this one. It's a little bit off center as well, just a little bit uneasy, much like how the game makes you want to feel. And then finally, I was flipping through my Nintendo games, and I'm like, damn, there's not too many games that actually have cool disc covers on them. But one of them here did aesthetically please me, and that is a game that I've never played, but I did buy. This is Super Paper Mario, and I just think that this one is really nice. It has like a silver line art back there, and then Paper Mario is blue, and I think that it looks really good. It pops with the white disc itself. Just looks really nice. While I'm at it, though, I just want to say. Switch 2 games, I originally I was like, oh, the full red case is kind of cool. Now I don't like the full red case. It covers the artwork and like for Switch games, because there's no disc, you can't like print a big image on the cartridge. You want the background image to be cool, right? You want the inside cover to be aesthetically pleasing. When you make the entire inside cover red, it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't. You can't even see the artwork. You have to take the artwork out to really see it. For comparison, here's Advanced Wars. Actually, bad comparison. For comparison, here's Clubhouse Games. I mean, look at that. That's clean. That's fresh. That looks good. Like if we're rating inside covers, this is a nice inside cover. It has the logos for the games. Looks nice. You put this in a red box, it covers up the artwork. Looks much worse. All right, so Callus said that he posted a few of his favorites in the Discord. So let's go ahead and check those out. Half of his games are in storage, but here are a few that stood out to me. Endless Ocean, yes, that is a nice one. I do like that. The characters are etched into it. We also have Batman: The Brave and the Bold, the video game. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I mean, it's fine. I don't know if I like this one that much because I never really enjoyed the look of the side. Like Batman looks fine, but I've never really liked how the Blue Beetle and Hawkman and stuff look in that. Stuntman Ignition, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I almost pulled out this game, and I also almost pulled out Batman Arkham Knight because that one's also like a tire. But this is a film reel canister. But it's a nice one. It's a nice one. Trapped, yeah, pretty. That's an edgy disc. The saw blade in the middle. I wonder what the Saw game looks like. Endless Ocean again. And then also beautiful Katamari. You know what? I forgot to pull out the Once Upon a Katamari. Once Upon a Katamari also has a nice game disc as well. So, very cool. That's it. That's it for today, folks. Thanks so much to Callus for his question. We don't get too many questions nowadays, but we got a question, which I very much appreciate. And if I had more time before doing this, I might have pulled out a few extra games. But I mean, while I was I was opening and closing a bunch of my PlayStation games, and I was like, damn, most of these are literally just like a PNG of the logo or like, just the. I'm trying to think of which one it was. Just to put it into perspective, like Excite Truck, like I was hoping that this was going to have a really cool, thing, but it's just it's a PNG logo and it has like the PNG of the truck up there. It's just like I don't know, it's just not really that cool. And then like I pulled out Super Mario Maker thinking like, oh, this is probably gonna have a really cool disc. No, it's just like a really mishmashed like. All like it's just the different like things that you can put in the game. It's just like it's kind of a bad looking disc. I was really hoping for Zombie U to have a cool disc too, but it's just the cover of the game, which is also another thing that these companies do too. I was actually kind of disappointed that Smooth Moves didn't have a cool game disc either. I was really hoping for like the how the background has like that pattern of Wario's nose. It's just a blue disc. It doesn't even make sense. I'm kind of curious though. What does Wii Music's disc look like? Okay, actually, you know what? Actually, that's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually kind of fire. All right, I'm adding a new one to the pile. Wii Music. Okay, but what about Link's crossbow training? All right, you know what? That's pretty cool. All right, so I guess I should have opened a couple more of my Wii games. That's pretty cool, though. Link's crossbow training, it's the target. Yeah, not too bad. All right, but what does Medal of Honor Heroes 2 look like? It's fucking terrible. All right. Ooh, Sonic and the Secret Rings. Oh, see that's a fire one too. That's a good one. That's a good one. Nice pattern on there. I was really disappointed with Red Steel. I was thinking this was gonna have like a super cool one. It's just the game's logo. Stupid. Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric on Wii U. Yeah. It's just the case cover. That's what Like I was saying, that's kind of the gist of most of the game discs that I was pulling off of my shelves. You would open it up and it's just the game's cover art, or it's just the logo. Could have been better. Yo, Deal or No Deal. Oh, nice. It's pretty bad. It's terrible. Yeah. Glover. I'm curious to see what Super Smash Brothers looks like. Oh, yeah, it's not even worth showing. It's just once again, it's just a cover. Okay. Anyway, that is that. That is that. I remember some GameCube discs having cool discs. I think the Crazy Taxi one was pretty iconic. Battalion Wars. Yeah, some of the GameCube ones do. Anyway, that is going to do it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the podcast. Like I said, it's a little bit. I mean, this is almost 3 hours long. A little bit longer, but very informative. We covered a lot today. Keep an eye on the Discord for schedule changes. Of course, there will most likely not be a regular stream this week. Maybe Saturday. Maybe on Saturday. Depends on what my schedule looks like. But as of right now, don't expect another stream this week. but I am happy to have got back to the podcast here and do an episode for you after being gone last week. I've been busy, been living life. What can I say? Living life. Yeah, I mean, don't forget, I still do Film Freaks as well as this show right here. Also, don't forget to join the Discord and poke around in the Ferret64 stuff. You can do topic suggestions, question suggestions, and video game Jeopardy stuff if you so desire. That'll all be that's all there. It's all there. So yeah, once again, very much appreciate you all. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast or YouTube after the fact, appreciate you as well. I didn't forget you. I appreciate you as well. So anyway, once again, I am Yummy the Ferret. Very much appreciate you guys. I will talk at you next week or in the Discord. So long.